should be live any second, probably a couple second delay for the YouTube, but hello Spotify, Apple, hello YouTube Live. You guys should see us now. Let me get those eyeballs in the chat if you guys are tuned in live on YouTube. Wow, we got 80 people already waiting for us to start the show. Thank you guys. I'm sorry that we're a couple minutes late waiting on Dell. We had some technical difficulties over here I was trying to work through. We got Fluent on with us today. Fluent, what's good, brother?
What's up, man? Happy to be here. A lot of stuff going on.
There is a lot of stuff going on. There is a lot to get to for sure today, and I cannot wait to hear what Dell has to say. We are going to do Q&As at some point. At some point, we are definitely going to get you guys in here. So I actually created a new channel in the Discord, in the voice channels, PC waiting room, so it'll be a lot easier to recognize who's actually waiting to get pulled into player's choice room. So probably 45 minutes, hour or so in, I'm sure we'll be able to start getting to some Q&As. But yeah, make sure you guys, when we get to it, PC waiting room voice channel in the Discord. Also 900 and almost 970 of you guys in the Discord. Insane. We are about to hit 1,000. I'm going to guess in a week. But if you guys think you can beat that, by all means. Mars, hello.
What's going on?
How are you doing? You get enough sleep?
No, but I never do, so we're doing all right.
Euro?
I'm doing okay, man. Recovering from a little bit of a, flu, sickness, whatever.
Ooh, tough. Chat, I know that I said at the end of last show that I thought Shaq was going to be back, but his schedule is super wonky with playoffs going on right now, so we are wishing him the best in playoff basketball, and he is anxiously awaiting his return as well. I know that you guys are, but I promise he will be back eventually. He's got to go win a chip, so. Oh my God, and I am working. Dude, like I am struggling over here, I'm telling you. Last night was crazy. Went to a baseball game, Mariners game. That was fun. And
Who they play?
Had one too many adult beverages. They played Kansas City. It was actually a really fun game to watch. I think in the 8th inning we had bases juiced. I'm pretty sure we either hit a grand slam or a 3-run bomb, but yeah, it was a close game until then, and then they just started absolutely dumpstering them. Eritro Anon already with the super chat. Thoughts on KD's mental fortitude? Let's just get into it.
Back. Where's Dell? Dell fought me when I said KD was soft. Remember that about a month ago?
Did you guys see what he said in his post-game interview about how he just said he thinks he's overthinking everything?
Yeah. I saw that.
You want to be the greatest scorer of all time, then score the damn ball, because like I said, you don't do enough of everything else. So there's no excuse. These 3 games have been horrid.
I really want to get into this, but I really want Del to be here too, because I have questions. But I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the right time. Okay. We'll just ask when Del gets here.
Okay.
But let's talk about Jayson Tatum. Let's talk about the matchup specifically. Jayson Tatum, Kevin Durant. Are we witnessing right before our eyes? Is Jayson Tatum surpassing Kevin Durant? A little bit maybe of an overreaction.
Who said that? I was about to say, is that Paul Pierce that said that?
Yeah, that's crazy recency bias there. I mean, JT's been great. I don't like that I've heard that KD and Jayson Tatum were similar defensively. I think that's what Jayson Tatum has proven that that's not the case. He's clearly levels above defensively, but as a player, I'm not going to say because Jayson Tatum's played better in 3 games, he's better than one of the 15 best players of all time.
Who's that? There isn't a top 15 player in this series.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like I think if the question is Jayson Tatum better than KD in this moment in time, like right now?
Of course, yes.
Of course. Has he surpassed him career-wise? No, he's still got work to do.
For sure. And
the thing that I've said about Jayson Tatum, people have heard me say this, a lot of times. Like I'm a Jayson Tatum fan, but I've always been like, man, to me, this guy just chills too much. Like I feel like his potential, his ceiling is much higher than what he's actually showcasing. And I can't wait for the time when he's actually, kicking it up and stepping it up. And it's the time seems right now. So I'm very happy to see Jayson Tatum, just taking it up a level. So
yeah, I think we were all waiting for him to assert himself because we know how talented he is offensively, how talented he could be defensively. And I think you're seeing it, right? KD's always had the luxury of shooting over people because he's just so tall and so long. But you get a guy like Tatum, who's also got like a big wingspan, who can just more athletic than he is. He's given him, and let's give credit to the whole Celtics team. The way they're throwing bodies at Kyrie and KD, they're the best defensive rated team in the league for a reason. So it's not like it's not a coincidence.
They also match up with them extremely well.
Oh yeah, this is the matchup I don't think they wanted.
Right. And let me ask you this, though, because you highlighted defense a little bit. When it comes to the evolution of basketball, right, and we see somebody like KD, and you were saying that, just because he's that tall and we've never really seen anybody do what he does at his height, at his speed and everything like that, there aren't very many defenders that can adjust to that as quickly as the offensive evolution of the game, you know what I mean, makes puts it out there. So yeah. Do you think like the defense is finally catching up after 10 years plus of KD being dominant? And, now we have somebody like Giannis, who's also, a tall type that is, a downhill kind of player or whatever, where traditionally we've only seen those in the post. And then, of course, post defense is what it was against post offense. But you get what I'm saying? Like, do you think the defense is finally caught up?
The defensive schemes are catching up as they always do. And then we're going to see something different from the offense again. And it's a cycle. But I think especially Boston, look, there's few teams that can get guys like Jaylen Brown and Tatum on the same team that are long, that can defend, that have even the desire to play defense. But okay, I hate to use this example, but look at the Raptors, because they're not great. But if you look at them defensively, what do they have? They have a bunch of 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" guys with 7-foot wingspans. So they're able to switch. That's why they're good defensively. They're not great because they're just not as talented, right? But if you get more talented guys at that size, they're going to give these guys a harder look. And the first time Durant faced it, I go back to, remember LeBron, again, I want to say it was against that Detroit Pistons team when they had Sheed and
yes,
Ben Wallace, and when he would drive, there'd be 3 6'10" guys with long arms, and they gave him fits. So it's rare to get a team put together like that. But to your point, yeah, I think defense are starting to realize that's what we need to do. We need to have 3-4 guys that can all switch off, that are all about, that long, that can give them. If you make KD's shot harder, look, what's he shooting? 37% from the field. You can make him less effective. Look, you can't stop him. He's Kevin Durant, but you can make him less effective.
He could also just have a bad series.
And he could also have a bad series. Absolutely. That's the thing with shooters, right? That's why back in my day, it was get it into the post, take the high percentage shot, because it's a lot harder to make, a 70% shooter from 0 to 3 feet have a bad game, versus if Steph has a bad game from 3, that can happen. You can just be off one night and now you've lost. So that's the balance that they have to figure out.
We got a couple super chats. J Los, why do we have to rewrite KD's legacy over one series, though?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not one of those guys to do that. That's why I'm kind of reserved with my comments when it comes to this. But I think this goes also to my point of me saying that players being not overrated but overhyped. Not saying that KD is overhyped, but it's just like how, like if you're saying that, we are rewriting, the legacy of somebody like Kevin Durant, was his legacy properly even written in the first place? If you can say we are rewriting his legacy. So I don't like that conversation at all. KD is KD. He's one of the greatest ever. You know what I mean? His career is not nowhere close to being done. This is also a super tough season for him coming back. Brooklyn, I said this from the beginning, that they don't even have the foundation to even start having good chemistry. They don't have enough time together, period. So I think everybody conveniently dismisses that and forgets that fact. I'm not making excuses because at the end of the day, you're in the playoffs, you got to win, and they don't. So whatever.
Yeah, it's for me. I'm not rewriting his legacy because I've been critical of Kevin Durant. I've asked the question and I've gotten much pushback. Other than score, what does he do exceptional? And if you can slow down his scoring, where's he going to pick it up? And so I'm not saying he's a top 20 player all time. I'm not saying that he's not, but I never had him. You know, people are talking about top 5 greatest scorer of all time. I always thought that was a little excessive. So for me, he's right where I thought he'd be. He's really good, but if you pressure him and play tough D, he's going to struggle. That's who he is. Again, still great. Don't get me wrong, but I never had him as a top 5 player, even trajectory to be that guy. But now if you had him as, like, I see people in the chat, he's the GOAT. No, he's not. Come on. It's not close. So those guys are feeling now, because the people who are looking and saying, hey, he's having a horrible series, he's not that guy. Well, yeah, those guys are going to have a tough time.
Welcome, Dub.
Hey, what's up, Dub?
What's good,
doing,
bro?
Dub?
I'm good. Nice seeing you.
Dub, did you know that your dad was going to be on the show today?
Shut up. I'm used to seeing you on Tuesday, so it's kind of weird me seeing you on a Sunday, bro.
Well, I was actually expecting to see Shaq so I could wish him a happy Easter and Kali Anastasi since it's, he's in Greece. They're celebrating.
Mm-hmm. That's tough. How's everybody? How
you doing, Dub?
Man, listen. That series was bad, bro.
How did you bet on game 3?
What, is it over?
It's over?
Game 3.
Yeah, how did you bet on game 3 go?
Hey, man, listen. Kevin Durant, bro, in this whole entire series, you gotta put the blame on him, bro. I understand, like, a lot of people want to try to talk about Nash and da. Nash, I mean, he's not that great. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he is, but KD, this whole series, it was bad, bro. And not last night, but the other night, whatever night it was, I lost track of my nights. I went out last night. I was in my cells drinking, but that whole game, bro, was so just a lack of aggressiveness, a lack of assertiveness. It's like sometimes he didn't even want the ball, bro. And I'm just sitting here like, KD, like, no, this your time, bro. It's your time. I'm screaming at my TV, yo, go get the ball, attack. And it's like he's just not there. He's making stupid decisions. I know. Remember that pick with Kyrie? That's a terrible pass with Kyrie Irving when they tried to do a pick and roll. He thought he was rolling and he didn't. It was like, I don't know what the hell was going on with Kevin Durant. Honestly, bro, that was bad.
Is Kevin Durant in his prime, or is he on the downside?
He's in the later years of. I'd say he's still in the later years of his prime. I haven't seen a noticeable decline to say he's out of his prime.
LeBron James,
because if he's in his prime, and he's putting up, I know it's one series, I get it. I'm trying not to overreact to 3 games, but if he's in his prime, 22, 5 and 5 with 6 turnovers, he got more turnovers than assists.
No, he was bad. Like, there's nothing to excuse that.
I'm just going back to the last thing. We're rewriting his legacy. Well, maybe this is a chapter we need to put in there. Maybe, like, does it not knock him down? Maybe not all the way down. Does it not knock him down?
I'm glad you said that because I was going to ask
I don't know.
that. How much weight does this carry?
How much slander is he getting? More slander than what LeBron was getting when he was failing against, when he like super teamed up with Bosh and D Wade and everybody, and they got.
Does anybody forget 2011?
Nobody does.
Right, it's a huge stain on his legacy.
Yeah.
So shouldn't this be a huge stain on KD's if he gets swept by the Celtics?
This is for sure.
Well,
and he plays this way.
I don't think that's a bigger stain than him not winning without Steph, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you definitely could look back on this series, especially his career. I don't think anybody besides Dell on here looks at Kevin Durant in this crazy behind light. I think a lot of people have him like 10 to 15 or like 8 to 15 or something like that. I don't think that's going to change. I think he's still going to be in that category. Nothing's going to change that. This series is a bad series. It is what it is, but it's not going to knock him out from any of that. It's Kevin Durant.
I don't have it.
We talking about everybody's personal rankings.
Yeah.
So you could have a personal ranking, but you really going to knock him wherever you, I don't care if you have him 20, 25, whatever. You really going to knock him down even more spots after this series?
No. This sample size is way too little.
I'm
need
not
to
either.
see more trash games from Kevin Durant before I start saying, yeah, maybe he's not anymore the guy that, you know what I mean, that he used to be.
I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to bump people up because of regular season if they fail in the playoffs.
I understand that.
And let's be honest, the only time he succeeded,
Is with Golden State.
It's Golden State. Like, he looked really good those 2 years. He looked good those 2 years. I'll give him that. But
do you think Draymond was also talking about Kevin Durant when he said what he said?
Was he not? I thought he was specifically talking about Kevin Durant.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Okay.
Who did we think he was talking about?
I don't know. It's somebody on the team that he was playing. I don't know.
Oh, no, I thought 100% some people aren't made for the playoffs. I thought that was straight at Durant.
Wow.
No, I think KD and Mars went through the whole little list with Low on the last episodes.
Okay.
KD in the playoffs wasn't really terrible for the majority of his career. I mean, you can look at the 2016 finals. Western Conference. That's a really like bad one for him. I'll give you that. But there's not a lot of times in KD's career where you sat here and like, damn, KD, like on OKC and then the Nets, like you really like should have done more. This is like one of those few times in his career I'm like, damn, KD, like you dropped the bag on this one.
And you don't think Draymond was, who, let's be honest, probably still a little salty, wasn't just taking a shot at him at the way he's playing right now? I thought he was.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Who else would he be talking about?
I don't know.
Jokic.
I mean, Jokic. He could be
Jokic?
talking about Jokic. Jokic is a guy who's been phenomenal in regular season, but apart from
Maybe he's talking about Cat.
like last year. Cat, oh my God! Don't even get me started.
Sorry,
we didn't even talk about Cat. We didn't even talk about Cat.
But go ahead, continue. Sorry.
Nah, but Jokic is a regular season guy. He's had playoff series where, like, against Portland last year, he played phenomenal. Give your hats off to him. But it's not really a lot of playoffs where he still played on like that level. You feel me? As in, a lot of people have him as a top 5. It's not a lot of playoff series where we see Jokic like, Jokic, like you're going crazy. In the bubble, Jamal Murray was shit. Jamal Murray was.
But hold on.
I don't like Jay. If he's talking about Jokic in that way, cool, I guess. But I do want to see Dre. What's up?
Can I just say time out on that? Because if he's talking about Jokic against them, again, small sample size against Golden State right now, I'm just looking at what Jokic is doing against them in 3 games. He's shooting 52%, 30 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yeah, he's
like
cooking.
That's not horrible if you compare it to what Kevin Durant is doing.
Oh yeah,
Kevin Durant shooting 36% on 22, 5 and 5 with 6 turnovers.
Yeah, but they're not winning. I guess that's what really matters. So the numbers need to be there. But if the numbers are halfway decent and you get the dub, then that's really what matters.
Okay.
If the numbers are trash, you get the dub, then it's like your team carried you.
Right.
But that's hey, listen. Jokic is getting the numbers but losing.
Yep.
KD's not getting the numbers and losing.
Right.
Right. So what is this debate about right now? Is it about who Draymond's talking or who is better?
I guess that's what it turned into. I just assumed it was KD.
Yeah, I think we might be reaching with that. Yeah. But still, like the thing for Draymond to say these things, I always just look at him and the advantage that he's had with the team that he's been with. We don't know what Draymond can do in terms of impact on a team and their winning and deep playoff runs and everything like that if he doesn't have Clay and Steph and KD for that matter.
That's the luck of the draw.
So to me, I mean, I don't want to hate, but I'm just like, dog, you got to be a little bit more careful with talking.
Draymond doesn't care.
Draymond got me mad because I remember we had this little talk about Draymond Green saying, yo, if you're wrong about something, like you really need to be held more accountable. These guys should be getting fired. Draymond Green, along with myself, Draymond said, KD, he's about to go drop 40. That's what he's going to be going to do. That didn't happen. So Draymond Green, like, should you stop give and take? Should you be fired, or should you be held out accountable for your wrong assumption of what was going to happen? You feel me? I don't like that. I just don't. It's not consistent for me.
Really quick, we got a bunch of super chats. I want to make sure I don't miss these. D Mills, Marsby tripping in the Discord, and then he said, LeBron the best player in the world. KD a great scorer, just not that impactful. And then J Los's super chat. 2011 was before Bron won a title. KD is a 2 times MVP, and we got our friend Caveman donating through the super chat. If Nets get swept, I don't care. I got Bird over KD. Switch Bird, KD. You think Bird's getting swept? He definitely put up a fight. Blake Griffin showed more heart than KD. Wow.
I
mean,
Wow.
there's
Blake,
a lot of stuff.
Blake,
Hold on.
Blake played to stay in the league. For
You know
real.
what? You know what that is, Euro?
What?
That's nasty.
That's
Oh, yeah, that was such a Kawhi laugh right there, Euro. Man. Mars, Mars, you said something yesterday when we were watching the game, bro, and I'm so stuck on it, bro. I need to ask you, bro. You said as soon as Blake Griffin comes in the game, what was the question you said?
I asked, what do you guys think of Nash's tactic of playing Blake Griffin?
I don't think that's a tactic, man.
That's not a tactic, bro. Like what?
I think
how
every
is that?
coach tells their bench, especially in the playoffs, every coach tells their bench to stay ready. Because you never know. And you see this time and time again after year, every series, it don't matter. There's players that play, players that don't play just because of like matchups and how things develop throughout the series. It was just like, what was Nash going to do? What was Nash going to do?
I mean, I thought
There's
might
also
as well
stuff we
play this
don't
guy.
see, right? There's also stuff we don't see, like in practice, if they were working on something and said, "Hey, this is working. Let's." Right. There's conversations that happen with players and say, "Hey, like Blake Griffin could have gone to him and said, "Hey, this is what I'm noticing. This is where I can help. Give me a shot." And Nash being Nash, listen, I get it, but this is why you shouldn't let players pick your coach. Because I get it. KD and Kyrie said they wanted Nash. But come on, you have title aspirations, and no, this is no disrespect to Steve Nash, but he's never coached before. You're just expecting him to step in and do a great job based on what? So I'm not even putting it on Nash. He didn't ask for the job.
This ain't putting it on Nash or nothing. Mars is trying to say that him putting Blake Griffin on the court in the middle of the third is a tactic. I don't know how that's a tactic.
Everything's a tactic. No,
I don't
absolutely. Everything's a
I
tactic.
don't see how putting Blake Griffin in, who hasn't played in damn near a month and hasn't played a second in the series, and then you put him in. I don't see how that isn't pre-planned or something. That
it's pre-planned. Yeah, it is pre-planned for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that would make
So
it.
Robert Williams also came back.
Yeah, you don't just play him for no reason.
Exactly.
You don't put anybody in the game for no reason. Number one, that's anybody. So by your definition, every sub is a tactic.
I mean, someone who hasn't played the first two games. And
every sub is a. When I sat here and seen them put Blake Griffin in, and I told you this.
If you change the rotation, from someone who was already healthy, and you change the rotation,
you're testing something out.
He may have also like.
Hold on.
You're testing something out. Gave you the answer already.
You're testing something out. You're testing something out to sit here and see if they can offer something different on the court. That's what Blake Griffin.
That sounds like a tactic.
It is a tactic.
It's testing something out. A tactic is it's a preordained game plan that you're coming in.
Correct. It is.
You're bringing Blake Griffin out on the court because you believe he's offering something that, like, he's gonna bring. Blake Griffin being out on that court is like, you know what? We've been down by 10 the whole entire game. Let's put him in the game and see if that changes anything.
So
that's a test.
They might have thought he could match up better with Robin Williams, who Euro said was his first time back. So that's why they put him in. So yeah, it was pre-planned. Of course it's pre-planned. If you go into a game and you don't have some kind of plan, and if things go this way, I'm going to do this. If things go that way, I'm going to do that. Then you shouldn't be coaching.
All right.
So I'm sure he looked at it and said, "Hey, I think the matchup of Blake Griffin against Robin Williams is one that we can win." So okay.
So why didn't he do it the whole game?
Because Blake clearly can't play that long. Did you
you see he was winded, bro.
But the definition
he looked like me on the court. Just,
why are we arguing tactic?
Because
why are we talking about Blake so hard,
bro?
I was told it wasn't a tactic. And I still don't see how that's not a tactic.
All right,
whatever word you want to use, it was a clear adjustment.
I want to get through these super chats, and Caveman actually, I'm glad he dropped this one because I was going to ask this. So I have two questions after these. So a retro anon donated through the super chat. It doesn't knock KD down the list, but just shows when things get tough, he ain't gonna be that guy. This guy has been excused every time. Tough. Dream Hoops donating through the super chat. Shout out to the other disciples out there. I'm shocked. Also, I'm shocked that the greatest scorer of all time, in quotes, couldn't go into his bag and find a way to score 40. Ooh. All right, Caveman, thank you for this super chat. I want to ask you guys. He said, Nash about to get fired. Should have hired Mark Jackson. Do you think Nash gets fired after this season?
No.
I mean, if KD and Kyrie don't want him fired, he'll stay. I don't think he should have got the job in the first place. But if the Brooklyn Nets care about the long-term future of this duo and actually winning a title, Steve Nash probably should get fired.
Should get fired?
If
Yes.
Oh, look, he hasn't done anything to keep his job. He should be fired. And I agree, he shouldn't have been hired. That being said, if KD and Kyrie say we can make this work with Nash, I'm okay with that. But then you need to do something that they need to at least do a better job. Bring in those assistants.
Yeah.
Every great head coach, we always seem to forget everyone. Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich, like literally, look at their assistants. Look at the guys who either put in a defensive or an offensive scheme. Those guys are maybe, and girls are sometimes so like unheralded. We don't talk about them, but they're really the ones. I'll use my Lakers. What happens when Jason Kidd was way more of a coach than Vogel was, and way more important to that coaching staff than anyone gave him credit for. And we saw that when he was gone. So if they're going to keep Nash because those two players want to keep him, they need to get him some help. He might be the raw guy that keeps everybody happy, but then you need that X's and O person or that whatever that other person to make sure that you give KD opportunities to score easier. The fact that he didn't score 20, the fact that he couldn't score 20 in a game and he's the greatest scorer of all time, that's horrible.
Are you asking what their current coaching staff is, Euro?
They had D'Antoni. I don't know if he's still there, but they had.
He's
Dan.
not.
Man,
They had him last year.
I don't know if they
had
need
him this
D'Antoni to be.
That's anything. Any coaching staff that has D'Antoni on it is going to fail.
But
in the playoffs.
Fluent, I think you kind of hit it because last year they had D'Antoni. This year they don't have him, and you could see kind of the difference in offense that the way it's laid out.
I
think you did hit it right there with the assistant.
So these are the assistant coaches: Jacques Vaughn, David Vanterpool, Brian Keefe. Assistant coach / director of player development, Adam Harrington. Jordan Ott, another assistant coach, player development, Tiago Splitter. Royal Ivy, Ryan Foreign Kelly, and Amari Stoudemire as a player development assistant.
It's
Tiago Splitter for what?
Tiago Splitter's player development. So
for what?
Bigs
to get blocked.
Bigs.
It doesn't say specifically, but I would only assume.
But let me ask you, like, listen, I like Jacques Vaughn as a point guard.
So do I.
But what has he done to make you think he's a coach that can?
Here's a problem. I mean? Here's a problem. You can't bring in anybody that Kyrie doesn't respect as a player.
Yep, that's true.
And as a mind.
And do you think he respects Jacques Vaughn? No offense to Jacques Vaughn, but Jacques Vaughn, maybe Amari.
I don't think so.
And Tiago Splitter?
I don't think so because Steve Nash is, no disrespect to Jacques Vaughn, but is a better player than Jacques Vaughn and probably more of, in terms of reputation anyway, a better basketball mind than him as well, at least as a player. And so for Kyrie Irving at the beginning of the season to be like, yeah, we don't really need a guy like Steve Nash. Like, you need to bring in Phil Jackson or somebody, legit, somebody with some pedigree.
Who is there a coach that Kyrie would respect and listen to?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Because you're not getting Phil Jackson, right? Is there an available coach?
I think it was
Monty Williams. I think he would respect Monty Williams.
He would respect a lot of guys.
Why wouldn't he?
Probably who else?
I think he'll give a lot of guys a chance.
I don't know if he respects.
Okay. But I think his patience is going to be super short.
I need to walk a couple things back, Jay. Gabe actually hit me up. Just
that the Nets were going to win Game 3.
That's not a walk back. I was just wrong about something.
It's too late now.
It's not. Yeah, I can't walk something about prediction. Can't walk that back. Oh yeah, it's like me saying, "Oh, Fluent, I'm about to beat you in a game of 21. You're up by 19. You know what, bro? You got it. You was gonna win." Like, no, I'm not doing that.
You should have known that from the beginning.
Anyways, no, I said some remarks about Marcus Smart this year. The whole leadership thing. And this is like probably one of the first times like I'm truly like full-heartedly like walking something back. The whole leadership thing with Marcus Smart I had, and the whole him playing point guard thing I had with Marcus Smart. Yeah, bro, I was just dead ass wrong about that.
Are you only saying this because he won D-Boy?
No, it's just
Are you only saying this because we all have been pointing that out, or are you actually seeing Marcus Smart being somebody completely different than you thought he was?
No, I knew who Marcus Smart was. It's just my whole take was I just thought that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown needed to have a bigger voice than him. I didn't like him running point guard and shit. But the way that the Celtics picked things back up, because it was looking good for me in the beginning, but then the Celtics picked things back up. The way they've been looking so far is like, now I gotta walk that back, bro. Like I was wrong.
Nice. Adam Jones donated through the super chat. If the Nets get swept, is it more disappointing than the Lakers missing the playoffs? Kyrie and KD about to go crazy. Nets in 7, baby. I'm a Mavs fan.
You said no.
No.
The Nets getting swept is more disappointing.
No, it's less disappointing. He said, is it more disappointing than the Lakers missing the playoffs? I said no, because the Lakers missed the playoffs.
Right.
So that's more disappointing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You're more disappointed in the in the unhealthy Lakers team.
Yes.
Who's been unhealthy.
Yes.
Incapable of playing defense. That's more disappointing than you, than Kevin Durant.
I'm more
getting
disappointed.
Swept.
Yes, I'm more
that makes no sense.
I'm more disappointed in the team.
That makes perfect sense to me too.
How the hell does that make sense?
They were
how does it make
favored
sense?
to come out of the West. They had LeBron
they're
James,
battling injuries. They have no defense the whole entire year, bro.
I never expected anything from them. The world expected them to be the favorites coming out of the West. That's why they were favored. And then the whole year they were disappointed. They were under 500 damn near the whole season, and they were the 11 seed. I'm going to be more disappointed in a team missing the play-in than a team that made the playoffs and got swept as a 7 seed. That's
so if you have
because by definition they are more successful than the Lakers.
They are more successful.
The Lakers
finished 7th. They were 7th. They were 7th. The Nets.
Did
the Nets not deal with injuries? Yes. Have the Nets actually, and I'll include Kyrie's whole vaccine situation, which might not have been an injury, but it was him being out of the lineup. Then they also had a massive trade where their maybe their third best player got shipped off to somewhere else for somebody that still hasn't played. So they've gone through adversity. You look at a team like the Clippers. The Clippers missed their best 2 players for the whole season. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard didn't play at all. They still made the playoffs.
So you see, this is where you're getting.
Paul George played less games than AD.
This is what you guys are doing. This is what you guys are doing. You guys are comparing the whole season, and I'm comparing the moments. We're saying Brooklyn getting swept. Brooklyn getting swept as a moment. That is a disappointing moment because at the end of the day, the injuries. Hold up. Wait. I just had. Wait. You guys just went through a whole spiel. That was my turn. No, that was my turn. So, anyways. No. He said what he got to say. Anyways. The moment is Nets getting swept. That's the moment. Then the moment for the Lakers is them missing the playoffs. That whole you bringing up injuries throughout the season for Brooklyn Nets has nothing to do with them getting swept. Nothing, because they were healthy. So a healthy Nets team getting swept with KD and Kyrie.
They're not healthy. They're missing Ben Simmons.
Get Ben Simmons out of here. I don't care about him.
Sorry,
no, I don't care about him. Team. Anyways, them getting swept is more disappointing to me than the Lakers not making the playoffs. To me,
Nets had a chance
as per usual, you're wrong.
The Nets had
the number
you're wrong
seed,
about so many things in life.
The number 7 seed being swept by the number 2 seed.
I'm not wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong. The number 2 seed is not more disappointing than the team that was second best odds to win the chip, not making the play-in, not making the playoffs. We're not talking about top 8. We're talking top 10.
When you sit here, when you look at the team, that's dumb. When you look at the team, them battling injuries, not being able to play defense, I can see why they didn't make it. It is what it is. But it is what it is. Hey, Del.
Hello, Del.
Hello. Oh, I'm sorry. I had another impromptu meeting.
Oh, you're good.
I got like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So what are we arguing? Which is more disappointing, if the Nets get swept or what?
Or the Lakers missing the playoffs
entirely?
Oh, it's for sure the Nets.
But is that because of the expectations you had for the Nets?
Exactly. No matter, even though if people had expectation for the Lakers to win the championship or whatever the case may be, the Nets if they get swept 4-0, this by far, I think is not even come close to the Lakers not making the playoffs. Me personally, that's just me. It's wicked to say the least.
I'm on the fence.
Wicked.
I'm on the fence with this because context matters for the Lakers situation. So them not making the playoffs, I get it. It's LeBron James
KD
though, so his
Kyrie getting swept by Boston, I don't care. One game?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I can't say the Lakers is worse than that. Maybe I'm sorry. It's crazy Braun team didn't make the playoffs. You can say whatever you want, but there's no way healthy KD and Kyrie can't get one game.
Hey, let me ask you, Del, is it easier Is it easier to make the playoffs when there's 10 teams, even with a few injuries? Because we see a bunch of teams in the West with injuries who made the play. Is it easier, or is it easier to lose 4 games, just have a bad 4-game stretch? Because KD, your guy, is just having, hey, listen, he's having a bad series. So
Yeah,
what's more
understandably
likely,
so,
that you have
but-
80 bad games or 4 bad games?
Well, I don't know. It depends on who's looking at it. Through the lens I'm looking at, every game when KD was alone last year, of course, James was hobbled. There was competitive and there were close games and they could have won. Now he has Kyrie, and of course, Boston better. Their defense been the best since January, whatever the case may be. Not to be able to get one game, I'm not jacking that. I'm sorry.
I didn't even
I'm not.
think.
Figure it out.
I
Figure
didn't
it
even
out. One
think
game
about
no
last
way.
year how
What
he was
What do you
cooking.
think KD's issue is?
First of all, I think he's in his own head.
Yeah,
That's
mental
one.
for
Like
sure.
even last night, he didn't shoot the basket. He shot the basketball well, 6 for 11, 16 points. But I never seen him second guess himself in the terms of not even wanting to shoot the ball. It's not. And then some of the turnovers he's having, like people are saying, forced them left, doing this. 3 of the 5 turnovers KD had last night was just on his own. It has nothing to do. It was just him second guessing the pass to Kyrie, him thinking Kyrie's gonna roll. It's those type of passes. That's all in his mind. So I think for the most part, and as everyone know, like he plays like to the media. The media never got to him in terms of how he performs on the court, but who knows if that's getting to him now. But I don't think it's nothing more than of course, Boston is affecting him, of course, because they're creating everything that's going on, but he's now also in his head to agree I've never seen in my life.
All right, let me get through a couple of these super chats. Jaw Wright donated through super chat. Celtics head coach Udoka was an assistant head coach to the Nets last year. Caveman, Dell is rehearsing his KD cover-up story. That was before Dell joined. Reggie Reg donated through super chat. Celtics played 90s defense. KD hated the contact. J. Los, Dub, no excuse for the Lakers compared to Brooklyn. KD missed 2 months. Kyrie missed 50 games, and they still made the playoffs. The Lakers couldn't get the 10th seed.
He's comparing the season and not the moment.
That
it's
Laker
the moment.
team,
Yeah, but
that
the
Laker team
question
couldn't
was
get
who had a more
34
disappointing
wins.
year.
But
No, it
you are
wasn't. It
literally
said the
comparing
question
them over
was
to the season two.
the question was what was more disappointing, them getting swept or the Lakers not missing the playoffs? Why are you bringing the whole entire season?
Because
into
in
this?
order for the Nets to get swept, they had to make the playoffs, which means the whole.
Why
year
you?
is
It's the
relevant.
moment, Mars.
Is
A
that
moment of Kyrie and KD not
How
winning.
do you
is
get
more
swept?
disappointing.
How do you get swept?
You don't win a game, Mars.
Okay, in what setting of the season?
In the
postseason, right?
playoffs.
So do you not have to make the playoffs?
This isn't who had a more disappointing year. The more disappointing year, of course, is the Lakers. But when you sit here and ask
Okay, so we're on the same
Kyrie and KD, yes, like
Cool.
it's just a different moment.
So you're saying it's more disappointing to get swept than it is to not make the playoffs at all?
When we comparing those two different
That's what I'm
moments,
asking.
the Lakers not
So-
making the playoffs
So in your
and them
mind,
getting swept with
it's
Kyrie
worse
and
to get
KD.
swept than to not make the playoffs at all.
For this situation
Yeah.
with Kyrie and Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
the fact that they cannot win one game because I believe that they're great at playing basketball. Yes, that's more
So
disappointing
you would
to
have been
me.
happier if the Nets didn't make the playoffs.
No, bro, what are you talking about?
Well,
That's not what I'm
No,
saying.
you can't say that. All right, say if the Nets didn't make the playoffs and LeBron James with Russ Westbrook and Anthony Davis had got swept, we would have been saying that was more disappointing, or is the Anthony Davis them getting swept versus whoever team. That's all. That's what I'm saying. One game compared to a whole dynamic of whatever could be possibly happening. One game, no, it's no way.
So, Dub, you must be really high on Minnesota then.
Yes,
Because
let's
they
talk
just
about
got us
Karl
outta
Anthony
here.
Towns, please.
Why?
Listen, no,
Why?
because you
Why?
want to know why? You know what? I'm not gonna put.
Playing
I
team,
said
playing
I
team
said-
that just tied the series up against the best team by record.
Let me tell you
And-
why I don't
and-
care. Memphis, I said Memphis is gonna win in 6. They won 2 games. Cool. I think Memphis can win these 2 games, next 2 games. I don't care about what Memphis did based off of game 3. There's no fucking way you blow 2 20-point leads, bro. There's no way in hell I think they even have a chance based off of that for me. It is what it is.
No, I'm getting exposed. J1 donated through the super chat. JD, I found the timestamp for that Celtics jar of mayo take. Have you bought the Dukes yet? No Miracle Whip either. You might enjoy that. Gotta be Dukes mayo. Oh, God. Oh, Mozilla with the super chat. I'm going to block Dub's box with my thumb. WTF.
And Fluent, most of like me personally, I didn't have that Lakers fitting anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have the Lakers fitting as a team when they got Russ. Like, of
Me
course,
neither.
with the you know what I'm saying.
neither
So
did I.
Nobody did.
Yeah,
I
when,
didn't like the Vogel hiring even 4 years ago. Even
oh
though
yeah,
they
me
won a
neither.
chip.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I didn't
right.
like Westbrook,
Yeah.
but never in my wildest dreams. Now, keep in mind, maybe I'm biased because I'm a Laker fan, so them not making the playoffs is bunning me. Maybe,
Okay.
but
So we're in the same bias type of take. Me being a KD fan and
Yeah,
being
maybe.
from New York, and
So
I'm
I'm like,
one game.
I didn't think they were winning the chip, but not making the top 10. Forget the playoffs. The top 10.
But you gotta view it this way. I think that the world is more because the Lakers been terrible all year. You see what I'm saying? The Lakers been terrible.
So we're used to it?
Yeah, no.
The
Lakers been
disappointment
terrible.
died down.
The disappointment of the Lakers has been ongoing through a year. So even like I came on the show, the Brooklyn Nets, when Kevin Durant plays, they're top 3 team in the East. So if of course you could say it's a 2-7 matchup, but this is not a 2-7 matchup normally. Like, well, let's just be honest with the talent with whoever you're comparing. I don't think it's a 2-7 matchup. It's looking more now like a 2-7 matchup, them being up 3-0. But going into that and then still KD and Kyrie on the court and they can't get one win. I'm not.
Yeah, but how many games have these guys played together?
I don't care.
This
they could have
really,
played.
It's a 2-7 matchup. It really is. It really is because they've just flipped this team together and said, "Go make it work." And you know this, Del. You can't just throw a bunch of people on the court together and expect them to play well.
But
especially
put it
against,
this way: say Ben Simmons play tomorrow and they get a win, right? Then they just threw that team together that never played together and they end up to get a win. You know what I'm saying? Just one win.
They could get a win, but what I'm saying is
they don't
this
have
team's
a
been
win
flipped
right
together and they're playing against the best defensive team who've been together. And now there's like Boston for the most part.
And for me,
they're hitting their stride right now, right?
I guess.
Like
and for me,
they're playing their best.
What dig deep more is like all playoffs or regular season going into play. Everybody talking about the Nets don't play defense. The defense is going to be killing them. It's their offense that's just getting outworked. They're not playing that. They're just not getting momentous stop, but they're playing a overall solid defensive game. Like
they're
like,
trash on both sides of the court. So
no, I don't think they're trash in defense though. They don't know how to get the key stop. Like, I don't think as an overall, if you
I mean, okay, trash might be a little bit of an overstatement, but they're not
Jayson
good.
Tatum had 39 last night. He took 30-something shots. You know what I'm saying? They're getting, it's just they can't get that. They're making a run. It's 88, 86. Boom, they can't get that one stop to put them over the hump.
But
like that's what
I mean, I think it's more than that. I think it's more serious than that because they give up a lot of layups too.
You can't game one, they were down big. They come back. They have the ball up 1. They can't get the momentum stop at the end to close the game out. They're playing a solid defensive game overall, but when they need a key moment, their discipline, the mental, whatever it may be seen from 1 to 5 is just terrible.
But this team wasn't put together to play D. They were put together to outscore teams.
That's why I said everybody thought it would be the defense that's killing them, that they're winning games 130 to 120.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
Del, assuming the Celtics win the series, which is looking very likely. Do you have them
143-0? Just so you know, 3-0.
Do you have them coming out of the East?
No, I would have to go with Miami.
Thank you. That's awesome.
So
I have to, because for me, Miami would have been Brooklyn's toughest. That's what I thought to me, and I thought Brooklyn was better. So even if they lose to Boston, I would go with Miami.
So Dub, you have Miami coming out the East as well?
Oh, I told you all the time. I said the only team that scared me was Brooklyn. So Miami's coming out the East, and I'm not even worried.
How do you think the Nets would have matched up against Miami?
Now
that you see in how they're playing.
Well, if they're playing like this, I mean, it's going to be light work,
but what I'm saying is like, we are giving Boston's defense all the credit. So do you think Miami has that type of defense to be able to
I think Miami could have made it challenging just like Boston's making it challenging. We have a great defense as well. Boston does too. I was just more scared of, I just didn't expect Kyrie and KD to just like, come on, bro. Like, them, like KD just not making the good passes, not playing as aggressive as he should have been, missing shots that he usually makes. I didn't expect that from KD. I wouldn't have expected that against Miami as well. Kyrie Irving too. Like Kyrie Irving's not getting to the spots. I just didn't expect him to be playing like that. That's why I always was scared of that. But if they're not making the shots, shit, yeah, of course they was gonna beat them if they played just like they did against Boston.
You know, Jalen Rose pointed this out, and I kind of agree. Brooklyn doesn't seem to have like a fire starter, you know, like this one person that is bringing energy no matter if he's on the court or off the court, you know, on the bench, just like rah-rah and like, you know,
Like
rallying the troops and stuff like that, like you would see with, for example, Boston and Marcus Smart, you know, because we talked about it in the group chat, how he took command of the huddle and everything like that. They don't really have a guy that consistently does that for them. So everybody seemed to be very like just disengaged, not, you know, too relaxed.
That's not bad.
Euro, same question to you. Boston wins this series. You have them coming out the East?
No. I'm still rocking with the Bucks. I'm not changing nothing, bro. I'm not changing nothing. I'm not here for that, man. If my takes are trash and, you know, I get proven wrong, I'm gonna just eat that L. Like I'm not changing nothing.
Mars?
I think, well, my prediction was the Bucks, but with Middleton's injury, it was always between Miami, the Bucks, and Celtics for me. So I think it will still be one of those three. I just need to see how Bucks Celtics looks. By the way, the Bucks are up like 15 right now at halftime. So I think they're gonna do with Chicago.
Fluent, I don't even know if we've ever gotten your finals predictions, but so I don't even know who you originally had coming out of the East.
Yeah, no, I've been with the Bucks pretty much all season. So this is actually, I'll tell you right now, I think whoever comes out of obviously it's going to be Celtics Bucks, I think, in the next round. Yeah, I think whoever comes out of that series is playing in the NBA final.
Do you think they win the NBA finals?
No, I said whoever comes out of that is playing in the NBA final.
Right, but does this go to the Eastern Conference this year? I think it goes to the Eastern Conference. I don't think the West is winning this year.
Wow.
Mars is sad.
I got faith.
All right, we got a couple super chats. Jake Mackey donated through the super chat. Dell can't talk about KD without mentioning if. Brody McDonald.
Everyone says the word if.
It's
a hypothetical situations. That's the weirdest thing I ever heard. How much he paid for that?
$179. Is Brody McDonald donated through the super chat? Is Steve Kerr a great coach?
I think so.
He's good. He's pretty good.
I like Steve. I like Steve Kerr. I think he's proved himself more so after the aftermath of KD than anything else. Of course, it's hard going there with leaving Mark Jackson, and people say he fell into something that was booming, but I think you see his systems and how he honestly have perfect pieces to fit whatever they got going on. But
right. I think he's a good player.
It's
coach.
tough. It's tough because when he was out, Luke Walton looked like a good coach, but it's still tough. It's tough. I think he's a great coach.
I think he's a good player.
I'll take
coach
him over Steve Nash.
He's got good relationships with his players, and that matters.
Yeah, I think
that's the biggest thing that Steve got.
I think the thing that makes Kerr a really good coach, I'm not going to go say great yet, but I think the thing that makes him a really good coach is that he's smart enough to, one, steal a bunch of really good ideas. Because if you look at his past, right, he was under Phil Jackson, learned the triangle offense. Then he goes and plays in San Antonio, learns some stuff from Pop. Then
steal is a harsh word, bro.
No, that's what you do. You steal. You absolutely, as a coach,
everybody
as a coach,
steals
you steal.
from people,
You want to say a different word, borrow, adapt, learn, whatever word you want.
Learn.
Yeah, learn.
You had mentors.
Sure. But
whatever.
You're taking from someone else and you're using it, right? If I take your beat and I rhyme over it, I stole that beat. So what? That mine went platinum and yours suck. Like, it's a big deal. I don't care. So
fire.
So I think it goes to San Antonio, learns. Then people forget he's the GM for the Suns with Dan and Tony. And so he's learning that 7-second or 8-second, whatever offense too. And now if you look at the Warriors offense, he's smart to be like, hey, we use a little bit of the triangle because they do like a read and react motion offense. They do a little bit of, hey, let's run and gun. And they do a little bit of that really ball movement, that San Antonio that he learned from Pop. The other thing that he does really, really well, he stays out of their way. A guy like Doc Rivers, I always say this, Doc Rivers outcoaches himself, right? He tinkers too much and he screws his team up.
Do you really think so?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I think he does. Sometimes.
He's not the worst at that, but yes. He's not the worst at it, but yes.
Yeah, he's not the worst. He's just the one that came to mind.
Right. In what instance, though? I don't think, like, Doc is up 3-0, right? With the same system, same philosophy. Of course, it's sad that if they lose.
3-1.
Now 3-1, correct. It's sad if they come back, go to game 7, whoever, Doc would be on the losing end of all of, and you could say, okay, a little credit to Doc because these comebacks you have been a part of. But in what instance do we look at the player? It's like right now, like I'm not a big fan of Steve Nash, but you won't hear me say I'm blaming Steve Nash for the Nets being down 3-0 at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? And just for them to not be able to get one game, I'm not going to just look at the coach. If you and them same 3 players went up 3-0, out of the next 4 games, they 3-1, you can't get one win. The same system that was working, like, come on, man.
Well, but if he makes adjustments that hurt the team and starts tinkering, and
right, that's where I don't see.
Do you see a system? Do you see
I see Kerr letting his guys play like he doesn't overcoach. And
but
so
what did you
Doc
say
might
about
be
Doc,
one of them,
though?
and there's others. Sometimes coaches overcoach when they need to just step back and let their players figure it out. And
But I think
Kerr
in this
does a
new
good job of that.
NBA, I don't think in this new NBA, not many of them coaches overcoach. That's just me.
Yeah,
I
agree with you. It's not a lot, but that's what I'm saying.
There's only 2 or 3 teams I always see that runs a different set or a different type of offense. Everyone is
but there's a lot of coaches that fight against the natural flow of a team.
Here, let me give you an example, because
Tibbs,
we're
for
talking about the
example.
Warriors and Mark Jackson. How you said Kerr fell into this role. Mark Jackson said, "I have the best shooting backcourt in the history of basketball." Right? He said that. He didn't let him shoot. He wanted Steph to be a traditional point guard.
Yeah.
And when you see then Kerr comes in and lets him shoot, then you see Curry go 8 threes a game, 10 threes a game, 12, 14. All that shooting goes up. And I'm not blaming Mark Jackson.
No. It goes up because of the offense, not because he didn't let him shoot. Not because he didn't let him shoot. Their offensive systems is different. But his offensive system wasn't harping Steph Curry. And I don't think it was at all, because he has to be shooting somewhere for him to say, this is the greatest shooting backcourt I've seen. Steph, I don't know if Steph passed it yet. Steph had his career high with Mark Jackson. Like, Steph was shooting the basketball.
No, he didn't.
He broke a record.
He had
54.
He had 54 at the Garden. I think that's his career.
You're talking about the game.
He's got 62 now. He's got 62 now. But yeah.
I'm talking against Portland, right?
Yeah.
He was shooting the basketball, but of course Steve came and just did all that. But I don't think he ever told Steph Curry not to shoot.
No, but he did want him to be more of a traditional point guard. And I think one of the things we see with the Warriors is who brings up the ball now. It's not Steph, it's Draymond.
But you also got to look at when Mark had, let's say when Mark had Clay, that was his Clay second or third year. When Mark had Draymond, he was a rookie, or he also had David Lee. He couldn't put Draymond in the role. You know what I'm saying? It's timing to be too as well.
Yeah.
Steve came at a great timing with that offense, and it just supersonic.
Super chats, Caveman, switching topic. Who got a better chance of an upset, Jazz or Wolves? Also, get them likes up. I agree, Caveman. We got 300 people in here, 112 likes. Let's get those likes up.
If the Jazz win, is it really an upset in a 4-5?
I agree. I don't think that either of those teams winning would be an upset.
Definitely the Wolves.
Yeah,
that would be an upset, because some people had Memphis going to the conference finals
and they might, Ron is not sounding so crazy no more. They might get with the Grizz. The thing is that when we talking about the what's the name, the Timberwolves giving up all these leads and everything like that, why are we also not looking at the Grizz for going in these crazy holes? Pause.
I think they just go on stretches where their offense can't score, and I don't know what the Timberwolves defense is doing to limit Ja Morant as a scorer, because it's kind of interesting.
I mean, nothing, honestly.
They're just trying to beat Ja up every chance that they get. Like he hits the deck so much, it's crazy. And
it's part defense, it's part the Grizz though. Like, just look at them over the season. They're not a very good shooting team, so they can go cold. So you add that to any type of defensive resistance from the Timberwolves, that's where you're going to see those stretches. I'm one of those guys that thought the Grizzlies had a really good chance of going to the Western Conference Final. But it's not a good matchup against Minnesota.
I don't think that they'll make the Western Conference at all. I don't think there's any chance. I think they're good, but they're still young. They still got ways to go. This whole series against Yo, bro, the Timberwolves series, listen, Timberwolves not winning. Like, just stop.
Fluent, I think
They're-
you and
they're-
oh, sorry, go ahead, Dub.
Nah, they're not winning, bro. Like, we just to stop it. There's no hope. They got 2 games. It's cool. Memphis about to win 2 in a row, bro.
I think you and Fluent, I think you and Chill did this recently about a week or 2 ago. But are the Grizzlies pretenders?
We did do contenders and pretenders. Man, it might not be pretenders so much as just maybe too early, because they're the way they play is really predicated on their defense, right? They lead the league in blocks, they lead the league in steals. It's kind of that helter skelter, let's come and get you. But there's, like I said, their shooting is inconsistent. So I'll put them.
Say pretenders. It's okay. It's okay.
I want them to be contenders.
They're not contenders. They never have.
I will
been.
pay money to watch Ja play, and I don't do that for many players. But yeah, no, they might just be too soon. I'm gonna say too soon. I'm gonna say right in the middle.
Can
You're
we? Oh,
Hey, what you got for me? You know, I got 7 minutes.
yeah. Jake Mackey donated through Super Chat. If KD had a size 15 shoe, they would have won the game. I mean, Del,
a KD hater would say if he had court awareness, he would have had his foot back a bit.
we can let you drive this until you have to leave, Del. If there's anything specific that you want to get off.
No, it's nothing. It's
Okay.
nothing. Oh, well, like I posted on my Instagram, like after the last loss, if they go down 3-0, I have Nets in 7.
Yeah.
We could start there. So
Okay.
we could definitely we could definitely start there. But I have no excuses for the L's. I honestly just want to hear like people's thoughts. That's what's making me laugh more than
Del,
anything.
I want to hear from you, because when I said I questioned KD's toughness, and as the best scorer, if you take that away from him, what else does he do great? For this series, what's the answer? What are we seeing?
It's no answer. I think for this series, and this is the most confusing I've ever seen KD look. So let's look into last night. I don't think he overall had what I think like 7 rebounds, 6 assists, something like that.
He was 8
points.
He was 8 and 8, but he had 16 points, 8 and 8, but he still had, I think, 5 or 6 turnovers too.
Right. No, this is what I'm saying. So I'm not even looking at that because the turnovers, and it's not like the turnovers isn't. It just looks like mental turnovers. It's the weirdest. He just looked discombobulated. It's the weirdest I've ever seen him look as a basketball player. And then my biggest thing is like, you always gun. Like you always take your shots. For you to take 11 shots, 3 or 4 shots in the first half, that's more mental than any defense. It's like you're trying to get out of your own way in terms of seeing if the team will be better, but they don't go as far as you take them. Like that's how I view it. So I believe I'm not bringing up Nash. I'm not bringing up Kyrie, no Ben Simmons, James Harden, how the season went. Everything he's going through, I feel like it's on him and no one else. Like I would never give him no excuse, no pass, or none of this stuff. I'm not categorizing these 3 games, though, as Kevin Durant whole career on how I view Kevin Durant. And that's what's making me laugh based on what people are saying. Like Paul Pierce is tweeting, Jayson Tatum is passing.
I mean, he's a Celtic.
No, no matter what he is, he played basketball. No, but even other people, my friends, are talking about Jayson Tatum is a better basketball player than Kevin Durant, whatever the case may be. I'll say to that, Jayson Tatum has been playing better than KD in this series. Overall, am I thinking he's a better player than KD? No, I'm not doing that.
I mean, they coming at you because you go hard for KD.
Oh no,
but let me ask you this. Let me ask you this though.
Believe that.
Yeah,
some people believe that. I don't believe.
But they're not real people. They're not. Like, come on, man.
Well, because
but let me ask you
live
this.
under bridges. Is that what you're saying?
Let me ask you this though. Why don't you think exhaustion is a factor?
Not at all. I'm not, because that's another excuse. I'm not giving them no excuse, because exhaustion could be a factor, whatever the case may be. Game 1, they had a chance to win. Exhaustion was still there. Game 2, they're up mostly the whole game. 4th quarter, exhaustion was still like there. No, you in terms of basketball,
but you're saying like his mental is not there. And so that can like
he's not. If exhaustion, you could say physically, he's not mentally.
No, I'm not talking about physical exhaustion. I'm talking
like
about
are the Celtics in his head? Is that why he's second guessing everything? Because he looks like he's second guessing everything.
He's second guessing himself. I guess he hasn't in a way figured out the defense yet, and I don't know if it's they're not quote unquote put him in the right positions or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I just see him second guessing himself. And they're playing against the Celtics, so you have to say the Celtics is making him second guess himself. And I've never seen that.
We're talking a lot about KD. Why just in the last game? Why are we talking? Why are we talking about Kyrie?
I'm not going to Kyrie. No, because
0 for 7 from 3.
When Nets is winning, I talk about KD. So I'm not going to Kyrie. I don't even know Kyrie numbers. Like I'm not. That's not.
Well, I just told
believe
you
the Nets
of
go,
17. 0 of 7 from 3.
Don't matter.
And what was the first half? He kind of like tried to shoot a little bit in the first half, and then he didn't shoot at all in the second. Or am I tripping?
The Nets go as far as KD would take him. I never thought they'd go as far as Kyrie would take him. That's why I'm not viewing it that way.
Caveman, this is funny. I don't know if anyone's ever going to learn this about Dell, but he will not change his position. But Caveman donated through Super Chat, said, Dell, you still think KD over Braun all time? Switch Braun and KD. We've seen Kai and Braun win together. Let's hear it.
Let's go to those Cleveland teams that we've seen them win. It's all a different dynamic of a team. They had a better coach. They had a better. Braun was the system. They had a better space. They just had better continuity as a basketball team. It doesn't matter of a KD and of Braun and KD. KD and Russ went to the finals together. KD and Braun and Russ didn't make the playoffs. I'm
sorry.
confused.
Time out. You have KD over Braun all time?
Yes.
Is that I didn't know that. Okay. That really?
KD and Kyrie. Huh. KD and Russ went to the finals. Braun and Russ didn't make the playoffs. Does that mean to your list that you should put KD higher? No, you don't. It just I'm confused.
Fluent. Dell doesn't rank basketball players up based on accolades. He ranks them based on their
like what
basketball
I think,
skill.
Like who, yeah.
Just what I think.
Jake Mackey.
It's the truth.
It is an opinion-based thing.
Right.
Everything is right.
I look at everything.
Right. Jake Mackey donated through Super Chat. Is KD the most overrated playoff performer ever?
That's tough.
Yeah, that is.
Is KD the most overrated playoff performer ever? Well, I don't think a lot of people have him ranked really high as a playoff performer. So
thank you. It all depends on how high everybody viewed KD in a playoff setting, and I don't think people view KD as like this crazy guy. Dell, no offense, but LeBron in the playoffs, I'm taking LeBron James in the playoffs over Kevin Durant.
That's no offense. That's what you feel like.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm just letting you know.
That's more chips.
He has more championships. I could say I'm taking Kobe over Braun. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
Has anyone ever said KD's the best playoff performer ever? Because that would be overrated.
No one said that. No one said
that.
I've never heard it either. Some of these questions that's coming about, I feel is like just I think is a prisoner of the moment stuff. And this is why, like, I don't base anything based on the moment of things was going on. Because let's say KD them come back, hypothetically, and win 4 games. My stance on Kevin Durant, who's a basketball player, wouldn't go higher because he won 4 games. Y'all stance will not put him higher than Braun because he won 4 games, because that's just what you guys believe. So why is if he plays...
Hold on. So if KD leads
comes back,
the Nets, the Nets to the first ever NBA 3-0 comeback and wins the series. You're not gonna give him a bump.
He gets credit, but above who? Like I already think he's the best.
Because all I hear from LeBron fans is he came back from 3-1 on the Warriors.
That's what they do. I don't view things that way. Okay. I don't do that. So if he come back, I expect him to play this way. That's who the basketball player I think he is.
But even if you were to compare that, there's really no comparison, because one is a finals matchup and the other one is first round.
Fair enough. Yeah, but still 3-0. It's 3-0.
Right.
Can y'all imagine
3-0 is 3-0 for sure.
Can y'all imagine how world would be turned upside down if that were to happen?
Oh, that's for sure.
I kind of want it to happen. I'm not gonna lie.
I want it to happen too.
I'm going to be in the YouTube chat though.
Dell, listen.
I'm about to get on my team bus. Got a game.
Before you go, I have a surprise for you.
Good luck, bro.
Yes, sir. Huh? What's that for? 3-0?
We got no. I just have soundboard stuff now, so I just wanted to show you.
Oh, you should have did that when I joined.
So anytime you want to womp somebody.
Chat.
All right, brother. Wow, that was fire. Thank you, Dell, for giving us 30 minutes of entertainment.
I got to get back on with Dell sometime, because I really need to dive into this KD over LeBron business.
Dell is very big on looking things in like he's a hooper, so he looks at things from a hooper mindset. And Dell really values fit and mainly fit and scoring ability. You know, Kevin Durant, you
No,
can't argue. He
Dell.
fits seamlessly with a lot of people.
You're saying
No.
Euro isn't a hooper and he looks at it wrong?
No,
I
no,
wasn't
I'm
a
saying
hooper,
that
I look at it wrong?
this is his words. That's how he views it, bro. I'm not saying
No,
Euro's
yeah.
wrong for thinking. He can
Dell-
think whatever he wants, but
Dell-
that's Dell's point of view.
Dell definitely prioritizes scoring over everything.
Offensively, for sure.
For
Because
sure.
even what was the thing that we was talking about yesterday when we were talking about
different.
skill? We're talking about skill. He only measures offensive skill.
They're
Like anything
their
else,
scoring
he's
is
just
different. Differs by 0.1. Like it's
It's about the way they score.
how they
it's
score.
about-
Okay.
We are getting
Yeah.
Doc,
an
He
influx.
likes the
Doc,
versatility.
can I ask you if Tatum and KD is still close defensively, or if this series has changed your mind on that?
As I said, I think they're right
Walk
near
that
each other in
back.
terms of defense.
Yeah.
I'm not
You
walking
should,
that
should
back.
walk that
Okay.
back. You should walk that
I'm
one
not
back.
walking
You're
that
wrong.
back.
You should walk it
I'm
back.
not walking that one
I'm trying to
back.
help you. I like
Okay.
you.
You
Walk
ain't
it
walking
back.
that. I'm not walking that one back. JT play. I never said This is the thing. I'm
Tatum
not
is
calling.
a better defender than KD.
I'm not calling Tatum
I hate
a
that.
trash
I hate
defender.
that because defense is a lot of effort, and KD ain't putting up a lot of effort right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
part of it.
I've seen KD.
But I'm
I've
saying
seen,
like
makes
that don't
you
mean you are a better defender in terms of like your ability. That just makes you a better defender because one player gives a fuck and the other one don't.
So let me ask you. So if you and I have the exact same defensive skill set,
Mhm.
and I try and you don't, that doesn't
makes
make me a better defender?
Yeah,
Absolutely
of
makes
course.
me a better defender.
But you see, you get what I'm trying to say though, man. We're
And you
using
see
the
what I'm
same
saying?
words.
Put your big boy pants on
Yes.
and put in the effort.
That's a
I-
fact. That's
I
a
don't-
fact, and he don't, and that's why they're at where they're at.
No.
the way I look at it, Jason Tatum and Mars. I tell you this all the time. I think Jason Tatum might be a better on-ball defender than Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant can definitely guard people on ball though, and I think that Kevin Durant's a better help side and better at blocking shots more than Jason Tatum. That's my take. So I know if Kevin Durant is on the Boston Celtics team in that team setting, team defense type setting, I don't think people will ever question his defense. Ever.
Do you think he's the worst defender
don't-
on that team?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think
Who?
people are giving
KD.
Jason Tatum a little bit too
No,
much credit.
never. No, I mean
Who-
people on that team, I would never
No,
call him the worst defender on that team.
of their main guys. Who's
You got
KD a better
Marcus.
defender than?
Well, you got Marcus Smart and Robert Williams. Depending on how you value defense, I mean,
Mhm.
if you put Robert Williams over Tatum, I don't know. I mean, you got Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Robert Williams. I think he'll be set wherever Jason Tatum's set. Wherever you value.
Hold on,
Where you
does-
What
value
are we
Hold on,
talking about, man? The
does that
Boston
matter?
Celtics is a collective. This
Does
is
that
a
It is
matter?
collective
it's a
effort.
team defense.
No, but
They-
does it matter if there's better defenders on your team? That doesn't make you a worse defender because there's people who are asked to play defense differently and you're asked to score. That's the system of the team. It doesn't make you a worse defender just because they say, hey, Marcus Smart, you go take the best perimeter player and you defend him, and Brown, you take the next guy, and then Tatum, you take the third. That doesn't necessarily make him the third best defender, nor does it knock his defensive ability. You're doing what's best for your team.
We have
Because I hear that a lot about Jordan. Oh, they put Pippen on the best guy. Yeah, because they wanted Jordan to score because Pippen couldn't.
Oh, so you're addressing Mars because of that, right?
I'm saying to wherever the discussion is, it's because I heard Mars was asking you, is he the worst defender on his team? And I'm just saying, I don't think it matters where he ranks on his team.
over.
that's
I
true.
know. I was a little bummed that he couldn't be here for Q&A either. And speaking of Q&A, we should actually probably start bringing people in. Low is about to join us as well, chat. So we're about to get some Low time here in the next few minutes. Loaded 2K donated through the super chat. Dub, I thought KD was pissed, bro. Brody,
Shit, I thought so too. That got me
Me
mad
too,
as hell,
bro.
bro.
Me
You
too.
He
should have
probably
seen
is.
me. You should, yo. I'm gonna do a live. I wish I recorded myself. Did a little live stream. We watching that game. I was screaming at the damn TV, bro, because it's like KD, bro. Like, shit.
Well, him joking with Tatum and stuff.
I
No,
hated that.
No,
I
I don't
hated
care
that.
about that. I'm not-
I hated that.
Why?
When I saw Tatum and Durant chatting at I think it was halftime on the sideline,
Yeah.
like they were best. I fucking hated that. I never want to see that in a playoff series between opposing players. I think that's garbage. I
Yeah.
hate that.
tough.
That's
I
your
agree.
thing.
Talk after the game. Talk after the series. I get it. Not during the series in the middle of the game. I hate that.
I'm gonna do
I know.
this one last because someone gave us a start bench cut. But Adam Jones donating through super chat. AI is the most overrated playoff performer. Wayne go crazy. I respect Dell's consistency. Jake Mackey, if Dell play like KD, he about to lose. Covert Kurt, I'm mad Dell left before we could do Q&A. Brody McDonald, start bench cut.
Sorry. Can I before you do the start bench cut, can I just say, if anyone has anyone, and I get it, it's a long time ago, so people forget. If anybody has anyone other than Wilt as the most disappointing playoff performer based on what he did in the regular season, then like go back and look. He is by far the worst regular season to playoff drop off of any player ever. He's the most disappointing playoff performer ever.
That's not ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous.
Fire.
Brody,
Dude, that's hilarious.
It's kind of nasty that you're using his voice for that too, because I know he'd be riding for Wilt.
I'll bring it up to him on Wednesday. That's a good one.
Funny. Brody McDonald donating through the super chat. Start bench cut. George Derozan Butler.
Start Jimmy, bench George, cut Derozan.
Wow.
Wow, Mars, we agree.
Wow.
Yeah, I told you when I first came on the show, I agreed with you.
What's your reasoning
Jimmy
for
Butler.
George and DeRozan?
George and DeRozan? I think Paul George better shooter, so I think that fits better on most teams. DeRozan needs more isolation. Paul George is obviously a better defender. I think he's a better playmaker. I think DeRozan is probably just a better mid-range shooter, and I'm not gonna say he's better than Paul George because of that.
But isn't that just like preference then?
I mean, I think Paul George impacts his team more than DeMar does. I mean, I've seen DeMar without Zach LaVine, the team was good, but I've seen Paul George with Reggie Jackson, and he's when they were playing, the Clippers were a solid.
Hold on, what are you saying about Reggie Jackson?
Good though.
I mean, he's not Zach LaVine.
Of course not, but like,
the Clippers are
that sounded like you thinking that Reggie Jackson's a slouch.
No, of course not. But I'm saying the Clippers were a very competitive team with Paul George this year, and no one they were good before Paul George went down.
They made the play-in when Paul George went down. They were still able to compete.
Yeah, they were a good team. I mean, Ty Lue's a great coach. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I personally think mid-range scorers in general, they don't bring as much value, especially in the regular season, as guys who can score from all three levels. Personally,
chat, make sure if you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord, and if you are in the Discord and you want to come up, do Q&A, or if you have any comments or whatever, PC waiting room voice channel, make sure you go in there and I'll start pulling people in here soon. Fluent.
George, Butler, and DeRozan, those are the three.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. I'm probably the same as three, but for different reasons, because I think we totally underestimate the value of the mid-range. If you look at the teams that win NBA titles, they're all really good at mid-range jumpers.
I agree with that.
But from a player perspective, I only have George and Butler over DeRozan because, especially for his career, defensively, man, he's just not that guy. So George, again, I'm assuming everybody's healthy. George and Butler are just so much better defensively than DeRozan that's I gotta pick 1, 2, 3. That's the only reason he's 3.
Okay,
but I think it's closer than people think.
I didn't want to undersell the mid range because I value it a lot. I'm just saying if that's like, I'm not gonna say if that's your best attribute, but if you like, even with Jimmy, an issue I have with him is his 3-point shot isn't there. If you can't stretch the floor to the 3-point line and your best attribute is the mid range, I think that limits you as a scorer in particular.
See, I find that argument interesting because it's very today's NBA, and people think you can't stretch the floor unless you shoot a 3. And I think that's a misconception. You absolutely can stretch the floor with an 18-footer. You absolutely, a 22-footer. You absolutely can. The other thing is, in this NBA, when they play zone, do you know what kills a zone? And Hezi, keep me honest, when I used to play, is where's there holes in the zone?
A free throw line jump.
Is at the free throw line. So if you can knock down that mid-range really consistently or better than anybody else, you're going to eat that zone. They're going to take that zone off and have to play you man. And then you can kill them. So
yeah, but when they play against zone, DeMar is not the guy that comes from, let's say, the short corner, shoots up the pipe. He should be, but that's not their offense. That's not what they're doing.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start pulling in some people for Q&A. I'm waiting for a response from 2 guys who have been waiting at the top of the show, but I just don't want to catch them off guard since they've been waiting there for a long time. But since JTMJ just joined, I know he's here. We'll get him in here right now. JT, what's good, bro? Wait for you to unmute your mic. This is this has become easily my favorite part of player's choice. What's good, bro?
Is this new?
Yes.
I haven't seen this
Yeah.
before.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What do you got for us, brother?
Hi, JD. How are you?
I'm well, bro. How are
Can you
you?
hear me?
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to eat the mayonnaise, bro. I was with you, but I was like, I'm staying for this because I feel like they can do it.
I said make the finals. Hold on. I said make the finals, right? Or win.
No, you said make the finals, and then under your breath you said Eastern Conference, but I'm not going to hold you to that. I'll hold you to the finals. I have a question for Dub. Dub, what do you think your chances are as a Miami Heat fan right now? Because that Celtics team looks nuts.
Oh, I can't wait. If we face the Celtics, I think it will be like 2020, a 7-game series down the wire, came down to like a block from Bam Adebayo. That's the team that I'm scared of. I think we'll definitely beat Milwaukee if they're able to get past the Celtics. So as long as we don't face the Celtics, bro, I'm 100% sure we're making the finals. If we face the Celtics,
I will throw
give
you
us
some bail.
60%.
I will throw you some bail. I don't think they can key in on a guy. Like the way they're keying in on KD right now, I don't think they can key in on one specific guy for Miami. But I don't know. That's what I'm rooting for you. And
You don't
the
think
Celtics in the
Miami?
Eastern Conference. I
You
think
don't
that'll
think
be the
Miami could
series
key
of
in
the
on a guy?
playoffs.
No, he's saying Boston can't key in on any of your guys.
Oh
They
yeah,
can't key in
for
on
sure,
one
for
guy
sure.
because you don't know who it's coming from. It might be Jimmy. It might be Tyler. I saw PJ Tucker had like 18 in a game. So I mean, it's more spread out offense.
Yeah, they can't play the same type of defense, so that's a great take on your part. Appreciate the Miami love, brother.
I appreciate you, JT. Thanks for tapping in.
Dub, why are you so confident you're gonna beat Philly?
Huh?
Why are you so confident you're gonna beat Philly?
Because Joel Embiid is hurt.
No, the same reason why you are.
Yeah, I believe you're gonna, but it's like you just.
No, what's your reason?
Because A, I don't trust James Harden.
There we
B,
go.
Joel Embiid's hurt, and C,
There we go.
I don't trust Doc Rivers as a coach.
I wouldn't say that last part, but A and B, I'm definitely with.
Yo, what's good, Kurt?
Hey, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's up? I found y'all on TikTok. Been enjoying y'all for the last 10 episodes.
Yes, that's dope.
My question was for Dale, but he's not here. So
he's in the chat though. He's in the YouTube chat. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I remember last episode Dale said KD was top 3 all time. He had Mike, then Kobe, then KD.
Yes.
My question can be for all y'all. Take KD out. Anybody under the top 3 you think wouldn't be in this situation?
Good question.
The situation that they have now?
That KD's in.
Yeah. What superstar that's in your top 10 that's not in his, or not in his top 3? Like, do you have any superstars that you think would not be in this situation?
It's tough. It's tough because
I don't understand what he's saying. What do you mean?
he's,
Like
he's talking about down 3-0.
If you replace KD with another superstar, would they be down 3-0 to the Celtics?
Exactly.
Is that the question?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
which superstar?
Yeah, that's kind of tough to do because every
seen
team.
superstars have bad series.
He got him top 3 all time, which I don't agree with. So I'm like, all right, that leaves a lot of players to pick from. I feel like there's plenty of people who aren't in his top 3 that would definitely not be in this situation.
To say what to counteract that is we could really dive down into every NBA superstar in NBA history. Majority of the time they all have series where they played terrible.
Is there
Dale
any?
said Kobe blew a 3-1 lead, and he's
don't say the player played terrible because Mike
in a series.
Mike rarely played terrible in a.
I said most. I said most. Mike is different.
But I was gonna say, but I think they all at least got swept. So
swept or
so it
played
could happen
terribly.
to anybody. Yeah.
I'm like that's such a hard thing to do because not every player is perfect. So every player we can dive down and see where they struggled, and so I just don't agree with that. I don't even know how to answer that.
Well, I feel like because KD lacks with playmaking, that's why he's struggling right now. Because they have shooters. The floor is spaced. He's just not seeing the open man. He's making careless plays. I don't personally think his shot's just off. I think it's literally the way he's playing basketball isn't going to work. He has to move the ball in a different way. But that's just my opinion.
I think KD in that game, and I was kind of talking with Mars. KD in that game, he was definitely hitting some nice passes to the open guy. He had like 3 that I seen in the second half. That was like, damn, KD, that was tough. I just think KD. I think what Del says right. He's in his head. He's making stupid mistakes, and he's not being aggressive, bro. Like that lack of aggressiveness, assertiveness is bad, bro. Like last game was terrible. I don't think it's a playmaking thing at all. Maybe for game 1 and 2, I could see that, but for that last game. Nah, bro. Like that was just bad. I can't blame the playmaking though.
Appreciate you tapping in, bro. Welcome to the community. I'm glad that you're here, man. Great question, bro. Appreciate it.
I'm a JD disciple.
Let's go.
I hate it.
I'm about to change this role right now. Look at that. Let's see. I know Chooch has been waiting for a while. Let me see if he's here. If he's not, we'll pull in. I think Gooch. Oh, what's up, Chooch?
Hello?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Hey, what's up? Glad to be on the show.
Yeah.
I've been listening to y'all since like May of last year, so happy to be here.
Appreciate you tapping in, bro. What do you got for us?
So I wish Shaq was here for this question because I know he talks a lot about empty stats, but I was just wondering if you guys think that empty stats are actually a legitimate like argument or a legitimate concept, because like to me, I don't know if a player who's putting up great stats truly their stats are actually void of all meaning, or they don't have any like actual impact on winning. Like I feel like you can always point to a player's team or coaching or chemistry or an individual bad game, but I don't know if empty stats are actually real. And so I was wondering what you guys thought about empty stats and how you view empty stats.
Yeah, I agree with that and disagree with that. So like empty stats to me is garbage time, right? So, or even something that's inconsequential. So Bane's 3-pointer at the last second, that's an empty stat 3. Like that really don't matter, but even if you say like you're down 20 or you're up 20 and it's the last 2 minutes and you trying to get as many buckets as you can and that, or just pat the stats like that, that's empty stats right there. But if you extend that like beyond just that garbage time, I don't think that's the thing, in my opinion.
Yep, Euro covered it for me.
So when people are talking about like when Devin Booker or Zach LaVine were being called empty stats when they were losing by themselves, but they were putting up great stats on good efficiency, do you think that is not a legitimate use of the term empty stats then?
Listen, I'll say I think you should stop using empty stats because I think you're over analyzing shit too much. Because here's the thing. If you're looking at one game, you can say, yes, empty stats because they were up 20, they were down 20, and I came in and just shot a bunch of shots and I made some points, big deal. Because the thing is, if you really want to deep dive, well then, is it an empty stat? Like when you say I scored 40 points tonight, but it was 30 in the first half, but I only scored 10 in the second half and we lost? Is that 40-point game now wasted? I still put that in. So I think if you look at it over the course of a season, the course of a career, it averages out. So you're going to get those opportunities where you've scored when empty stats would matter or didn't. So I don't like that term. I think I don't like it. I don't like it.
I think there's a thing, inflated stats, as if Christian Wood and Jeremy Grant is a perfect example. They go on the Rockets or the Pistons, and now their stats are more than what it was before due to opportunity.
Correct.
I think there's inflated stats, but like Euro said, like when you in the garbage time, like I'll use LeBron James in 2015 when we was getting killed by the Spurs. There was times where he was scoring late in the fourth quarter where we're getting trashed, bro, but those points ain't mean nothing. That's empty to me. It doesn't mean nothing. We're getting blown out. So I think there's inflated
but when you look at that in 10 years from now, you're not going to take that away from him and say, well, he had 40 points that were empty stats. We got to knock that off his total. So there's
you can't knock that. Yeah,
look at that. Jesus.
So it's just a talking point, but I don't think it.
He played terrible. He played terrible that series, and people don't like to acknowledge that he played terrible.
I agree. Chooch, I appreciate you tapping in, bro.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you. Lo, what's up, brother?
Oh man, what's going on, man? What's going on?
Dell's watching. I think he's still watching, and he's in the chat, by the way. So say what you need to say.
Lo was having a good time on Twitter last night, man. I was chuckling at some of the stuff
in the Twitter Spaces.
No, I wasn't. I was actually at a wedding, so I couldn't get into a Twitter space, so I couldn't get into my bag. Man, this is I was waiting.
This guy's evil.
I was waiting for Kevin Durant to be pissed. for him to be upset.
Me too, bro.
I was waiting for the temper tantrum game. I was waiting for him to go crazy. That's what I was waiting for.
Me and you both, brother. Me and you both. When I say that was a huge disappointment, bro, it is what it is.
So I'm gonna be serious. I'm gonna be serious with this. I think Kevin Durant losing the way that he's losing, as well as Kyrie Irving, and even what happened with the Lakers. Two things that we have to discuss. I don't, and I'm so serious, I don't understand why people to this day like to have Neanderthal conversations about basketball, claiming that the reason why something or somebody's going to win or lose is simply because of name on the back of their jersey without actually going into the complexities of what happens on the basketball court. To the point where we're willing to say, oh, he's upset, he has a chip on his shoulder, he's going to be pissed, and that's the reason why he's going to win. I think that dialogue needs to change.
Michael Jordan ushered that
So
in.
you don't believe in that?
No, I think somebody can play with a chip on their shoulder, but you need to dissect like how is he going to combat whatever is happening to him so he can then have a great game, not just he's going out there and every shot he takes, he's upset and he's frowning at the rim.
Because that happens. That
Neanderthal
happens when
conversations
you
is
play. When
fire,
you have
by
a
the way.
chip on your shoulder and you angry and everything. Like LeBron James, when he beat the Celtics and everything, he had a chip on his shoulder. And what was it, 2013?
But he was able. There was more to just him having a chip. Like LeBron actually has a skill set to break down a defense through various different ways, which is the second thing we had to talk about.
So you don't think KD could have possessed that against the Celtics?
No.
Because he can't go left.
Because he can't read defenses the same way that LeBron does, which is the second thing we got to talk about, which is skill set. When we talk about skill set, I understand what people are saying. I understand that they're talking about your diversity in scoring the basketball. I get that. But the reality is that there's more to skill than how can you dissect. I mean, how can you score the basketball? It is a skill to read defenses. It's a skill to manipulate defenses. It is a skill to pass. It is a skill to redirect and maneuver around screens. It's a skill to defend the rim without actually fouling. There are other formats of skill. But when we talk about skill, it's only about how you score the basketball, and in particular, how you score the basketball when the ball is in your hand, because it is skill to do with what Curry does when he's off ball. So those are all skills. So when somebody says that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are the most skilled players of all time, I don't care if it's Tracy McGrady. I don't care. What they're saying is something that is level low. It's an old saying in the NBA that needs to be abolished. Chris Paul, especially at his peak, is more skilled than Kyrie Irving is. He's a better passer. He's a better defender in every shape, form, or fashion. And he can also score on all three levels at an efficient rate. But because he doesn't dribble the ball between his legs, or somebody doesn't do it as you like to do it, or he's not a hooper, then all of a sudden that's going to determine the skill level between somebody.
Well, skills by definition, everybody has a different definition. Majority of the time when people are talking about skill,
if they have
we're gonna keep it real. We talking about offense.
Yeah,
that's
no,
your opinion.
Hold on.
That's your opinion.
It's not an opinion.
There's one definition of skill. One. And if you want, go look it up. Google's free. And a skill is something that you can work on and improve at. That's it. That's what skill means. So it doesn't, now you might value one skill over another. That's your own personal opinion. That doesn't make it right. A skill is anything you can work on that make better.
Yeah, but you also have to have the basis for improving that skill. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
so like
talent. That's talent.
Right. And so we have to consider that as well, though.
Right? Like look at, you brought up LeBron. LeBron did not have good footwork. What did he do? He went to Hakeem Olajuwon and he said, teach me. And he improved that skill, right? Magic Johnson wasn't a very good shooter, but he said, hey, too late, mind you, but he went back and said, hey, I got to learn how to improve that skill. And he became a better shooter. You can go on and on and on and on. Anything you can work on to make better is a skill. Now, again, you value them differently. So the problem is we've fallen in love with the eye test and what looks nice, and we think that's skill. We think because Kyrie, to Lowe's point, he can dribble behind his back and, and between his legs and, blah, 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 blah. That makes him a better whatever, a more skillful player. No, that just means he's a really good ball handler. That's great. But if I can get from point A to point B and I don't have to do all that, I'd argue that that's probably better than someone who has to take 20 dribbles to do the same thing.
More
I mean,
efficient.
that could be a more better player, of course.
Let's
But
just think about if I could take 2
that's-
dribbles and get to my spot and make a shot, and you got to take 20 dribbles to get to that same spot and make a shot.
but
I'd say I'm
again,
better than
I
you.
think you guys are just. I think
Harlem
you guys are
Globetrotter
more
style.
keyed in on the fact as if Lo, you saying Chris Paul, he's a better player than Kyrie Irving, hands down, without a doubt in my mind. I think everybody's just stuck in the mindset of skill is not saying, all right, Kyrie's more skilled, he's automatically better. No, Kyrie's just when we're
But he's
talking
not more
about an
ski- he's not
offensive
more
thing.
skilled.
When we
He's
talk,
not more
I got
skilled,
you.
though.
I got you guys.
Yeah,
I got
his
you.
game
Guys.
is
Understand y'all
prettier.
definition.
His game
You
is prettier.
include the playmaking and all of that. But from the mind frame of what everybody judges this off, when we go by that definition, because that's what everyone talks about. Kyrie Irving, when it comes to scoring the ball, way more ways. I mean, you got to
Just
give that.
because everyone
but
believes
that's the-
something, it doesn't make it
Exactly.
right.
Doesn't make it
Everybody's
true.
wrong.
People
That's what
used
we're
to
saying.
believe the earth
Y'all
was
could
flat.
think that.
Like,
No,
That's
but it's
what-
a fact though. It's a
just
fact.
because the
People-
majority believes something, that
doesn't mean that it's correct.
it's
People
true.
used to think that women shouldn't vote. They didn't mean it was correct. That was just the overwhelming majority of thought process. You got to take the
there's a
time
laundry
back and just think.
list of things that everybody thought,
Exactly.
right? That there were gods on Mount Olympus, that the earth was flat, that slavery was okay, that women weren't allowed
Exactly.
to vote. Like there's a million things we've done in our past that were all wrong. They were wrong about. So just because everybody believes it today, they'll figure it out.
Low coming in late in the second half, trying to win the show already. This is crazy. A couple super chats I want to get to really quick.
I've never sat with Low before. He's smart.
How you
like
Oh,
doing?
you
How
guys
you
haven't
doing?
been
How
on
you
the
doing?
same show yet?
Look,
No, nice to meet you, man.
Oh,
Nice to
yes.
meet you, man.
Low, fluent, low. Jake Mackey donating through the super
Oh,
chat.
man.
Can we get a slow-mo of JD eating that mayo? Oh, my God. Oh, please.
You're gonna have to do that on the show, bro.
I know. I need the Celtics to fold. Caveman donating through the super chat. Why I never hear this excuse from Braun? Be honest. This was 11 minutes ago, and I forget exactly the context we were. So if any of you guys remember this, feel free to answer. Otherwise, we can.
What was the question?
It was just a super chat. I don't remember what we were discussing for him to do that. I want to say it was another KD. We were talking about KD, but Lo, we were in the middle of Q&As with viewers, but if you still have anything that you want to get off your chest, please, by all means.
No, I just wanted to say those two things. I'm sorry I had to mess up the fly. I was doing other recording. I said I'll jump on, and I just want to again the dialogue around the NBA needs to change. It doesn't. We're at a point in NBA history where there's too much information that we have at our disposal for us to still be speaking as if like we're still talking about 80s basketball. Like if you think that Draymond Green isn't skilled because he can't dribble between his hands, like if you think that that's the case, if you just watch him defensively, you can clearly tell he possesses a lot of skills.
Mhm.
Like if you just watch him play.
Well,
But-
people don't even give any credit for any defensive skills.
Nothing.
They don't even
None
talk
at all.
about it.
No,
No,
can
no.
I ask you about the first remark you made about Kevin Durant and reading defenses and everything? So what, in terms of the reading defense and everything, what did you see in game 3 that happened for you? Like, what did you see that he was unable to read or something like that?
Like I said a month ago, Kevin Durant in terms of his playmaking ability, and me and Mars been saying this as well. Me and a lot of people been saying this. Kevin Durant in terms of his playmaking ability, he is slow to read where the open man is at or when to make the proper read. So when the defense is shrinking the floor on him when he's driving, he has a really hard. He's very slow at contextualizing
What happened?
especially
What
in
happened
contrast.
last game? What happened last game though?
Every
Because
almost every time when he was driving, almost not every time, but almost every time he was driving, the floor is getting shrunk on him. It's getting shrunk.
Kate, I think people have this misconception about KD, and yes, I'm going to bore you with stats. That KD is facing a bunch of double teams and triple teams, and he has no space during the regular season, and that's the misconception. The reason we're seeing this KD right now is because the Celtics are playing defense on him, and he's struggling because they're playing defense. And let me give you the boring stats just so you know. He's 6th in the league. That's high for double teams. Do you know who he's tied with at 15 double teams per game?
no,
Fred VanVleet. Would you ever say that Fred VanVleet gets double teamed more than anybody in the league? No, you would not. Number 2, when we talk about tight defense, so within 0 to 2 feet when you take your shot, he ranks 10th on his own team at 3.9%. Now, some of that's because of his driving ability, but basically people give him 2 feet to shoot over them. So throughout the regular season, he doesn't have men right up on him. He doesn't get double teamed a lot, and we see a very different KD. What are we seeing in the playoffs? The exact opposite. They're throwing doubles at him. They're throwing a guy right up in his grill, and he's struggling to make the right decision quickly. That's what we're seeing. And people are going to defend it and say, no, that's not true. Go back and look. You can't fight that stuff.
So what I'll say when you talk about KD playoff, I'm assuming that you're trying to say like he can't play well in the playoffs. Mars low.
No.
I don't know what.
That.
Then what do you say? What do you say?
I never said he can't play well. I said he was average.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is we're seeing this KD and people are shocked, but I'm not shocked because I see what the Celtics are doing to him. And it's not a surprise because you're comparing it to the regular season KD, which is he's getting a completely different defense thrown against him every game. That's the difference.
Okay, again, now I really want you guys to highlight like game 3 because Lo, you saying about him shrinking the floor and everything. I didn't watch the first half. I watched the second half. When I sat here and watched the second half of that game, I don't know what you're talking about. When I seen them playing defense on Kevin Durant, I seen a bunch of passes that Kevin Durant made that was really good passes and him reading the defenses. When he's a lot of the times KD's either not getting the ball or he's getting his shots, he's on the block, he does a post
have you seen the first
shot
half?
And everything. I didn't see the first half. I said seen the second half.
Watch the first, because the first half is where he got held to 7 points. And the first half is when I want to say good portions of his turnovers actually came out of. The first half it does a much better depiction of what probably happened.
Based off what I seen in the second half, bro, I seen Kevin Durant honestly not doing anything. Not doing anything at all. He had a couple good passes, a couple shots and anything, but he wasn't doing anything. So I don't understand why you're saying is, oh, they're shrinking the floor on him and making him play this bad when game 3, bro, was just Kevin Durant just not being aggressive or assertive as all. In the second half, I told you I didn't watch the first half, so I'm not sure.
Well, watch the first half and then go back and watch game 1 and 2. The reason why I'm even disappointed.
Game 1 and 2, I'm with you 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Game 3, though, that's not what happened. And that's not what lost in the game. What lost in the game was Kevin Durant not being aggressive, assertive at all, not even being put in the position that you're talking about for that to happen. He just wasn't doing anything, honestly.
Well, I'm watching it right now. Like, if you go back and look at some, even in the second half, even though some of these turnovers in the second half, bro, they're shrinking the floor using the out of bounds line as another defender, and they're forcing him to make passes. And some of these passes are just poor reads, like really bad reads.
He had a couple with Kyrie that was terrible, but then he also had a couple passes where he actually made, I think, 3 good passes in the second half. That was like, wow, KD, that was tough.
The best pass he made that game was he went to take like a pull up from like the baseline, and he saw Bruce Brown cutting. I don't know if you remember that play. That's probably the best read he made all game.
He had one, he came down and then he hit the man. He was about to pull up, hit the man. He had another one where I think it was Patty Mills and Seth Curry going around the corner and dotted the guy in the corner at 3. And then there was one more I can't remember.
Because most of his assists actually came in the second half. So if you want to really watch it. The first half is where I don't think he had that. He might have had maybe 1 or 2 assists in the first half, and he was held to 7 points in the first half. The first half is where he was really, really bad. But the overarching point I want to make is that because I think people when I say that he's not a great playmaker, it's under the context of me comparing him to other great players in the league. If I'm comparing him to fucking Duncan Robinson, of course he's a great playmaker. But when we're having this discussion about where we're ranking Kevin Durant, especially in terms of his skill, claiming he's the most skilled player of all time, or at least in that conversation, or even just say he's the best player in the NBA, it's under the context of I'm comparing him to Luka's, to Jokic, to Giannis's, to LeBron James. Like that's who we're comparing him to. And when you're comparing him to those caliber players, bro, he's not
playmaking ability.
His playmaking is not on the same level.
I give you Trae. I give you Trae. I give you Luka. I give you LeBron. What makes Giannis in that category?
Because he manipulates defenses way more. Giannis's assists are coming off of him driving to the paint and the defense collapsing, not him handling the ball and then the defense comes over and he's like sitting here reading it. When you have that form of manipulation, you can force the defense to play you the way that you are playing the game of basketball, in terms of them giving you something and you're trying to react on the fly and you give the ability to hide it. So when he's driving and somebody comes over, Giannis is forcing them to give somebody an open look because they believe that it's the best thing for them, that it's better for me to actually leave this man open and and not giving my teammates the opportunity to cover for me leaving him open, rather than the defense being set and then him at the top of top of the screen, just waiting for the double to come, and then looking, searching, and hoping that Bruce Brown eventually cuts to the free throw line.
So where did you rank, and obviously not him this year and everything, but in years past, where did you rank Russell Westbrook and his playmaking ability?
In 2017, Russell Westbrook is one of the greatest playmakers I've ever witnessed.
26. After that, 2018, 2017.
Even the year with Paul George.
I'm going to say even some of them, some of the years.
Okay.
His Houston year, but he was injured some of those years, and then in Washington he was injured the first half, so it's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard to, you know what I'm saying? I can't
see. I see the point that y'all making with Giannis. He's down, drawing the hill, and then just kicking to somebody out in the corner, and everything's open. He's good at reading. I'm not going to say he's not. Kevin Durant, in my mind, he can do that as well. Maybe not to the extent of Giannis that you guys would like, because he's not as dominant as Giannis, of course. But there's also things that Kevin Durant could do as well that Giannis cannot. So that's why there's this whole playmaking bag where he's not on Giannis's level. I agree with you with LeBron, Trae Young, and Luka. I got you 100%. I'll never argue against that. But to sit here and dismiss Kevin Durant as a playmaker comparing to Giannis, I'm not with it.
All bias aside,
well,
the only thing that KD, honestly, the only thing that KD is better at than Giannis is shooting the basketball.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the biggest difference, I think the difference with Giannis and KD is KD's a reactive passer. Like if he sees someone wide open, he can find him, he can throw a pass. The thing with Giannis is he can anticipate openings to a level KD can't. He can read where if one guy cuts, he can see if the defender's going to follow that guy or leave the guy open for the free. He can give lookaways. He can sell defenses to go close out on one guy and find someone else.
KD can't sell defenses.
KD does not manipulate defenses.
KD could draw
the issue is I say something and you say so. KD can't do it. I'm not saying he's incapable. But if we're talking about these superstar players, there's levels to this. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. What Giannis does, he does it at a higher level than what KD does. And we're not going to say KD can't do it. That's like saying Giannis can't shoot a mid-range. He can. He just can't do it to the level KD.
I just think you guys are just overselling the Giannis playmaking bill. Literally, he's just driving and kicking to the open guy.
You should watch
Kevin Durant.
If that's what you see, then that's what you see.
That's what you see. I see Kevin Durant.
See how many of Giannis.
I see Kevin Durant. I see Kevin Durant and his way. He could play make as well, bro. I've seen him play make at very high levels. I think we've all seen that, bro. So I'm just not jacking that, honestly. But
the biggest problem with Kevin Durant is partially because, and this may be coming from the Achilles injury, he's not as explosive as he once was. Like he's not being able to break down defenders and get to the basket, or break down defenders and get to certain spots to force help to come and meet him somewhere. When the help comes, they are coming to him. The help isn't reacting to him beating an initial defender. That's the difference. And so, like I'm saying before, when the defense has to react to you and you're not reacting to the defense, there's multiple times where if you just watch Giannis plays, it's almost as if like him driving to the basket, he's just baiting the defense to just move because he knows that they're going to react to him. Because there's times where he's driving to the basket and it's a bullshit drive. He's not actually driving to get anything. He's just driving to manipulate the defense, which is something that to a much higher extent, LeBron does, where LeBron will literally LeBron will almost waste a play where he'll just like try to figure out how are they defending? How are they going to defend the pick and roll? And then after he figures that out, he'll go to the next possession and then say, okay, they're going to send a help. The weak side help is going to roll over and tag the roll man. That means the corner 3-point shooter is going to be open. And then in the very next possession, he will then use exactly that concept and then find an open man just like that. Kevin Durant has never, ever in his life been to that level of playmaking. I believe Giannis is a closer level to that level of playmaking than Kevin Durant is, especially right now.
I want you
to do a couple passes just like that, bro.
Lo, I want you to elaborate on that point a little bit when it comes to Kevin Durant, because I think a lot of that also has to do with the pieces that you have around you. So if you can compare KD of the Warriors to this KD, how much of a difference do you think that makes?
Well, that also makes a difference because, like you said, the personnel. So, and this is the reason why when he was with the Warriors, and it's the reason why when I was on the other podcast with y'all, and I said that I don't know if Kevin Durant is successful in the 2000s when there's not as much floor spacing. When you don't have the proper floor spacing around you, again, it just makes it more difficult because it makes it easier for teams to just leave the Bruce Brown in the corner or leave the Andre Drummond at the dunker spot, knowing that it's going to be a very difficult pass for you to potentially make. When we're playing for the Warriors and everybody knows what it needs to be, and even if they're not great shooters, they know how to use their driving lanes and cut to the basket accordingly. You benefit from that tremendously. Now, I don't even think that's a knock to Kevin Durant. I think it's actually high praise to the Warriors system. But when people are making arguments that Kevin Durant is better and greater than everybody else, utilizing those years in with the Warriors and not taking into consideration that he's playing on literally the most floor spacing and player movement we've probably ever seen in our lives, to not take that into consideration to who he is as a player is very telling, especially when he openly admitted the reason why he wanted to leave OKC is because there wasn't enough of that with the Thunder. He openly admitted it. Well, it was through his burner, so I don't know how open.
No, I know what you're talking about, because it was just him and Russ. He was complaining about that. It was just them making the offense, yes. But you guys, Giannis has floor spacing as well, though.
I'm not saying he doesn't.
Nowhere near to the level of the Warriors.
No.
But we're talking about. I'm talking about the Nets and everything right now.
Yeah, no.
I'm not when he has floor spacing on the court, it makes it easier for him to play make as well. Correct?
Yes, I think it makes everybody easier.
Makes everything easier.
Yeah.
It makes everything easier. So that's why I just don't think y'all should just dismiss KD just like that.
I promise you, floor spacing is not the issue.
I'm just telling everybody he is who I told you he was. That's all.
Floor spacing is not the issue.
And also, Dub, what you're saying is right. But then again, when Dell is telling me that floor spacing doesn't matter, that he'll be fine in the 2000s when there's less floor spacing, and here we are now when there's less floor spacing, and this is what he looks like. Like, imagine Kevin Durant on a team with two bigs who can't shoot and another perimeter player who can't shoot as well, or his best perimeter shooter is shooting like 33% from behind the arc.
I see the point. I see the point you're making, and I think
that's why you can't tell me Kobe. He's not better. He's not.
So Kevin Durant
is better scorer than Kobe.
I got you. Kevin Durant. I think what Dell's leaning on, or no, I won't even say that. What I'm leaning on with Kevin Durant, I think he'll be fine in the 2000s, because in the regular season he was just fine. Because I'm not saying that Kevin Durant's going to win chips in the 2000s. I'm not going to sit here and say that. But will he be able to play at a high level? Absolutely. I would never say that he wouldn't. So what do you? Hold on. So yeah, I need to know. What are you trying to say with Kevin Durant not being able to play in the 2000s?
Maybe let me not say that. Maybe you forgot the conversation. The conversation we was having was, would KD be a top 3 player in the 2000s? And then Mars had said Shaq, Duncan, and Kobe. Like those are the 3. And then Dale was saying, oh no, he would absolutely be a top 3, and then took out Duncan in the conversation. And I was saying, like, bro, in the 2000s, when there's not the amount of floor spacing that is necessary for Kevin Durant, I don't know how he would look. I don't think he would be as good as he is.
Do you think that he would? Do you think it would be possible though? Do you think it would be possible for Kevin Durant to be a top 3 player?
I think
because a lot of you don't think it's possible at all.
I think he'd be closer to T-Mac than Kobe.
No,
I don't agree, because I think a lot of people get caught up in wins and everything like that. If you get KD in the right situation, he's winning. He's probably gonna be regarded as a top 3 player, bro.
But there is.
I don't think so.
This is. I hate these.
I don't see how.
Listen, I hate the hypotheticals. But since we're playing the what if game, if Durant was on a team in the 2000s, I think you're forgetting from 10 years prior, but from 2000 to about 04 was a steady decline in offense. 03-04 was the lowest points per game in the history of the NBA. Shot clock, since the shot clock. It also wasn't shooting a bunch of threes, maybe 15 per game as a team. Right now it's 35. So there's a lot of the things that Kevin Durant benefits from, 3-point shooting, spacing, that he wouldn't be given that advantage. So what you're seeing is today in the series, what he would have had to face kind of almost on a nightly basis in that NBA. So how could he have been a 3-point player if he plays the way he's playing right now? He wouldn't.
If T-Mac and Gilbert Arenas can do it, he can do it as well.
Hold on. T-Mac, 1, Gilbert Arenas wasn't top 3, so let's bun that.
I'm not saying no. You're saying that he wouldn't be able to play with the 3-point line. That's what you said.
Yeah. 2.
If those guys can do it, what makes you think that they
play with the 3-point line? Where did you get that? He did not play with the 3-point line.
He wasn't shooting.
There was one season where he shot well from the 3-point line once, and T-Mac is ridiculously more athletic than Kevin Durant. So he was playing a different game. Kevin Durant can't do what T-Mac did. Are you nuts?
That's another. I think.
Are you serious right now?
I think.
Are
you serious right now?
He's not as
You're
gonna tell.
Durant's
I'm not comparing his athleticism. You're saying in terms of playing basketball that Kevin Durant cannot sit here and do what T-Mac did in that time. That's what you're gonna try to say due to athleticism.
I said he's not a top
That's what you're gonna say?
You brought up T-Mac, and I said T-Mac's not top 3 either, because that's the question. Would he be top 3? The answer is no, he wouldn't. And then you said T-Mac. Well, T-Mac relied on his athleticism. Kevin Durant doesn't have that.
I brought up T-Mac because you said, and I quote, you said he wouldn't be able to shoot the way that the league that he would want to shoot because of the era that he's playing in, and he just to see how that would go off. I'm giving you guys who Kobe Bryant, T-Mac, Gilbert, those guys
didn't shoot a bunch of
those
threes.
Guys. They were shooters though, right? Mid-range, 3-point. They played on the perimeter.
Things.
They shoot. KD can't do other things now. So KD can't do other things.
He can't defend like Kobe.
Oh my God.
He can defend like Kobe.
He can defend like
no,
Kobe.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying he could. I'm saying you're saying Kevin Durant. You said that Kevin Durant could not. That's what you said. He could not. He was not going to be playing because he wouldn't be shooting. That's what you said. If T-Mac and Gilbert Arenas could sit here and play well, shooting the ball out of the mid-range or 3-point shots, there's no reason why Kevin Durant cannot do the same thing.
3.
I think the issue is KD's
that's what you said.
You bring up guys that are top 15.
KD's scoring would be worse, and that's the only thing he does at an elite level. So how would he be top 3?
Again, top 3. There's more things that Kevin Durant does than just scoring the ball.
What else does he do at an elite level?
I told you, Mars.
How does he pass Tim Duncan, Shaq, and Kobe?
Again, if you put him on a team, that he's winning, that would affect the way that you would look at him. So I don't have the list of the teams. I don't have the list of teams. I would have to look into it because I never had this debate before. But to say that it's not a possibility, that this could happen is crazy.
The reason why we're saying that, or the reason why I'm saying that is because I want to be clear. Even if we were to like hypothetically make up a team, back then it was just very difficult to find a team that had that had like the level of floor spacing that was probably necessary for Kevin Durant to look the way that he looked with the Warriors. That's all we're saying. It would probably be similar.
He would never look like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it would probably be similar to what we saw with probably at best with his OKC years. And even in OKC, there was a drop in a noticeable drop in production based off what he gave you in the regular season. So if in every postseason run that he's going through in the 2000s, where teams are using, if you're in the Western Conference, you have to match up against the Spurs, and they're running literally some of the greatest defensive units of all time. And then you're in the Eastern Conference, you have to go against the Pistons. And if both of those teams are so potent that they tune down even Kobe Bryant's production. Like that's what I'm talking about.
He might be T-Mac, where he never makes it out of the first round. You might be right.
So that's the point I'm making.
I never said that.
All right.
But the point I'm making is it's just hard. I don't want to like overdo it, but that's what I'm just saying. It would be hard for me to realize how he's top 3 in an era where you needed to be more than just a scorer, especially on a defensive end, because that's how a lot of teams' makeups was defensively. It was on a defensive end, and there weren't that many teams that had 2 to 3 quality 3-point shooters on their roster and on the court routinely. There just wasn't that many.
All right, super chats. Chooch donated through the super chat. He said, also, I forgot to say, Dub, the Heat aren't making it out of the East, and stop hating on my Bulls. Also, Fluent, love the Ditka jersey. Cam, or let's see. Loki Varis donated through the super chat. That's something you're going to have to take up with Dub in the DMs. Caveman. Oh, let's see. Might be nasty. Shaq.
The Bulls getting smoked. It's crazy.
Caveman donated, said, might be nasty. Shaq and Duncan over Durant in playmaking. Both Shaq and Duncan are underrated in playmaking, and they were making plays in the post with less spacing.
That's not nasty at all.
I've always thought that.
Especially Shaq.
Shaq is, yes, especially Shaq. I would have Shaq over Duncan in terms of playmaking.
Well, here you go,
That's
Caveman.
not ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
Cam Cobain donated through the super chat. Do you all think Kobe has the argument for being the most skilled player of all time on both ends of the floor?
Just say most skilled. We gotta say yes. I think Kobe.
No, hold on. Lo. We have to say on both ends of the floor because
people only look at offense.
Exactly. So we had a whole back and forth last episode about that. So we have to make sure that we say both.
I think Kobe, CP3, LeBron, I think they're all in those conversations. Some are more skilled than others. But I think for sure Kobe's in that conversation. KD's just not.
Kobe's in the conversation because he has all the skills, and then what'll maybe put him over is we talked about when Dell was on, or maybe it was with Euro. Effort is part of that defensive mindset, right?
Yeah.
And no one's gonna outwork him, so he's in that conversation.
Caveman got a start bench cut for us. It's coaches: Spoelstra, Monte, Jenkins.
Right now, or
that's all I got. So,
in that order, exactly.
Say the coaches again.
Spoelstra, Monte, Jenkins.
We cutting Jenkins.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I might start Monte, bench Spoelstra, if that's based on this season.
I might go the other way around.
I think it's close though.
Yeah.
I think you can go either way.
Yeah, no offense to Taylor Jenkins. I don't know why he got put here.
Yeah, I don't know why either. Because that's a crazy leap. And what happened to John, man?
Fluent, you got to cut out.
I got to cut out. I do.
We appreciate you, Fluent. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on. Check out sports_fluent, IG, Twitter, TikTok. I appreciate you guys.
Stay up. Yo, what do you mean, Lo? What happened to Ja?
Man, I don't know. He's looking kind of.
I mean, first time going through the fire, man.
No, he was in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, he wasn't getting treated like he is now.
Yeah. That's just
he's got to. He's a young player. He's seen something different. Let him bounce back. Let him adjust. Next year, if he plays like that, then I'm with you or whatever. But let him figure it out, man. He's great. He has a great motor. He has a great chip on his shoulder also, man. He'll be all right.
He got to use some of the athleticism on a defensive end though.
I think
he can't.
The thing is,
he shouldn't be a liability like he is.
Yeah, he shouldn't be that much of a defensive liability.
Well, I mean, he wants it too much without even thinking. He just goes, head first into the wall or whatever, and he's he's paying for it every time he hits the deck, and then some of the passes that he's thrown off of that is just, he's just young. And the team around him is young.
I think
he's too fast. It just let him have somebody on the team. They're going to bring somebody in, whether that's a coach, whether that's a player development guy, whether that's like a veteran. It doesn't matter. They're going to bring somebody in the offseason that can tell him, look, man, this is what you need to do. Slow it down, do it like this, do it like that, or whatever. And then he's going to, have more experience. He's going to be put in more situations where he's going to be able to figure it out and actually really see for himself what works and what doesn't work. He doesn't have that right now.
Really quick before we get back into Q&A, Shaq wanted me to ask you guys, is there anyone in the playoffs right now that the Nets can beat?
Oh, that's crazy.
They'd beat New Orleans. They'd beat probably Minnesota. They'd beat Chicago, Denver. I'd say.
What do you guys would say if Boston beats Milwaukee?
Without Chris Middleton.
Because that was an argument last year, right?
He's not coming back at all.
Bro, I don't think they need.
He's had 2-3 weeks, I think.
I don't think they need him to win. I mean, obviously, it's great to have him, but I just think that highly of them.
I have to see how the series goes. If Giannis has issues like he did with Miami previously or like Toronto, then I'll look at Giannis a bit differently. But if they lose and Giannis is great and Boston's defense isn't stopping him, I'm not viewing anyone differently.
I agree.
I'm not really viewing anyone differently. Especially because I've always thought that Boston is a good team that could surprise a lot of people. That's the reason why, again, I picked them to come out the first round. And also I think that they would need Chris Middleton, because Middleton will definitely be the difference maker in shot creation and also knocking down threes to help properly space out the floor. I'm fine with acknowledging Giannis's flaws, because even last year against Miami, he didn't play that well. Doug.
Yeah, I know that. I know.
You just have Bryn Forbes.
This is the issue I have with a lot of Giannis fans. I guess you, Lo, don't fit into this, but I guess Mars. When you have a team that has a good defensive scheme set up for you, there's no way for me to knock you as a player. I can't.
I think there is.
I can't.
If you can't adjust to a defense
what
in
do
a
you
playoff series,
what do you want Giannis to do? What do you want Giannis to do if they're making him more of a jump shooter? You want him to become an automatic jump shooter out of nowhere?
No, that's not what I want. The thing I'll go back to Toronto 2019 because I think that's where I was wrong about Giannis. In 2019, I thought Giannis was making the push, best player in the world. He was top 2, top 3. Him, Steph. I mean, LeBron missed the playoffs.
He wasn't wrong.
Well.
He was making the push.
Yeah, he was. And then I thought that no one could stop him in the playoffs, getting downhill, whatever. And then they went up 2-0 in Toronto. I was like, okay, I'm seeing what I predicted. Then they change up the scheme. And I see Giannis's limitations get exposed. His playmaking is not to the level it is now at all. He was nowhere close. He couldn't handle a wall. His shooting is much better now. That's why they could expose him, etc., etc. Then 2020 happens. He got hurt in the Miami series, but he was struggling. But the difference then was he was making the correct reads in the Miami series. It's just he was passing the ball to Eric Bledsoe, who couldn't shoot. And that's why they would get exposed. That was the difference I saw from 2019 to 2020, which made me comfortable to say it's not the scheme that's exposing him. It's now the pieces around Giannis. He made the adjustments necessary to beat that wall defense.
So in your mind frame, Giannis corrected whatever was wrong.
He made the adjustments.
Now
I think he's past that. And if there's a new scheme, I don't think a wall defense stops Giannis anymore. I don't think a wall defense either. I think when a new scheme comes along and I see Giannis go back to the 2019 Giannis that he can't adjust, he can't handle it, he don't know what to do, then I'm going to be looking at Giannis a bit differently. Like, I thought you got past this. I thought you were the best in the world. And if I see a defense able to stop you, then I'm going to have to reconsider that.
Would you still call him the best in the world if that would have happened, though?
No, because
you saying all of that knowing Chris Middleton is out, or because Chris Middleton is out?
No, he's saying if he's struggling. He's saying if
I see a defense literally can stop Giannis and he can't adjust to it.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is like the defense has less to worry about.
Yeah, that's cool. That's why I said in 2020 when he was making the correct decisions, it was just Eric Bledsoe was the one finishing plays. I didn't hold that against Giannis. I still thought he was the best in the world because I saw that he made the adjustments necessary. Just the pieces around him didn't help him along that. Like if this year the Bucks lose and Giannis is still doing the right things, it's just Grayson Allen isn't hitting shots or whatever the case may be. Speaking of which, Grayson Allen's been great in the Chicago series.
Amazing.
Yes.
But if that's the thing that's happening, I'm not going to say, oh, Giannis, you're a worse player because your teammates around you didn't pick up the slack or they didn't do what they were supposed to do. But if I see Giannis isn't doing what he's supposed to do, then I'm going to be looking at him sideways. That's the issue I had with KD and guys like that. That's why he was never the best.
I think Giannis this year is definitely going to struggle against Miami and Boston because they have the pieces that you can't stop Giannis, but you could just try this best to slow him down. They have the physicality where they could sit here and play them one-on-one and they could send help and force Giannis to make bad decisions almost the same exact way like they did with Kevin Durant. So what I'm asking you is this, because if this is to happen in my mind, as if Giannis is struggling and everything like that, I don't want you to sit here and not call Giannis the best in the world. Just
if I don't think Giannis is the best, like for me, the best three players in the world to me, Giannis, Jokic, and Steph. They're the three best players in the world. If I see Jokic is going out, but Jokic he's been very good in the Warriors series. Game 1 and 2.
I'm not gonna say very. I'm not very good.
Yeah. Well, game 1 and 2. I don't think Jokic was good. I think the stats lied. Game 3, I think Jokic was very good. So I'll say he's had a 7 out of 10, 6.5 series. Giannis, I think, is the best player in the world. If I see him get, I won't say exposed, but go back to the Giannis of old that you could game plan against, and I see Steph play to the level I think Steph is at. I'm gonna say Steph is the best player in the world.
I'll say this, Dub. I wouldn't shift, but I do think that there is something worth noting that you can't make adjustments because every other all-time great player, especially the player who got the title best player in the world, was able to make adjustments. Like Kobe made adjustments, LeBron made adjustments. Like they were going, the Spurs were going under screens and forcing him to be a jump shot shooter. He had to make those shots. Like you had to just adjust. And the same thing with the Boston Celtics as well. So like, of course, there's gonna be moments in your career where they might throw something at you that you're not well equipped for, and then you grow as a player. But I think Giannis is at a stage of his career where he should already understand like how they're going to defend him, and he should already be preparing for how to counter that. You shouldn't be throwing him by surprise that you're throwing two people at him and trying to mask defenses and things like that. He should know that at this stage of his career, especially how great he is, because everybody else who is at similar stages, who are at similar stages of greatness as well, bro, they all understood like, yo, the defense is going to play me this way. Even if I shoot poorly, I need to be a better playmaker. Even if I don't have the best pass lanes, I need to take advantage of the matchup. And even if offensively I don't got it working, I have to contribute defensively. I just got to figure out a way to win this ball game and take advantage of what they're doing as well, because I'm not the only person on the court who has weaknesses. That's my point, is that when you have the ability to not only try to counteract people's defensive schemes, but also implement one of your own as well that can potentially stop them. That is the testament of true greatness, in my opinion. And that's a difference between what separated LeBron versus everybody else in that stretch of his career. It's the same thing that separated Kobe and everybody else in that stretch of his career, Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan, et cetera, is that they were able to identify it and then adjust and then put in place their own type of counters as well.
Who do you consider all-time great? Because I don't have a no, like just in general, because I don't have a beef with what you just said, but I do take issue with saying that all the all-time greats were able to, make adjustments and figure it out if they get hit with a crazy defense or whatever, when I think there's plenty of examples where we have all-time greats that weren't able to make adjustments in a playoff series because of the defense. And so I just wanted to know, who do you think is an all-time great?
Fair enough. Maybe not. Let me not. I think that every all-time great had those expectations to do so, and maybe not every all-time great met those expectations.
Right, because we just spent a whole lot of minutes on KD, and he's an all-time great, and he's not making no adjustments.
I do think that for the most part, and I still think Kevin Durant is up there. I think that for the most part, though, that is a difference between, in most cases, winning a championship and not winning one, or being a top 20 player versus being a top 40 player. Like I think those are the subtle differences of, like, you're great, and you're great to the point where you're still top 50. But the difference between you and Steph Curry, or the difference between you and Tim Duncan, or the difference between you and Giannis is that they made adjustments to their games to where they knew how to counter what was being thrown at them. And that was the difference between them winning and losing in certain stages of their career. I think that can be the difference, especially when you're trying to gauge players all the time.
Last 25 minutes or so, we'll get back to Q&As, starting with this one from the Super Chat. Zion Hill, if the 76ers win it all, where does this put Harden individually, and where does the Joel and Harden duo rank of duos that won?
I mean, it depends.
They're not winning.
It depends on what James Harden does, because right now, I'm not going to say he's a passenger, but it's not really looking like as much of a duo as it was anticipated to be, in my opinion. And if you win it, like, for me, I'm not going to compare it to Jason Kidd in 2011. That would be crazy. But it's similar in that vein as you won, but you weren't the James Harden that we all laud in as one of the greatest scorers of all time.
And James Harden?
Yeah, you didn't win as the James Harden that we were calling the top 5 shooting guard. So how much can I really put weight into that ring, as that's the reason why I'm moving you up on all-time lists? That's just me, because I don't rank.
I mean, he should get the same amount of credit or not credit as anybody else who's teamed up with somebody else in order to get a ring. But they're not winning, so it don't matter.
Well, I mean, you got to give credit for James Harden, what he's doing, because maybe he's not the same Houston, but he's playing in a different type of a point guard role that you have to give him credit for that.
Hey, here we go again. Is he making adjustments? Yes or no? Is he an all-time great? Yes, he is. So, you know what I mean? Like,
he's playing more like a point guard, and that's benefiting the team. And if it does lead to a championship, you for sure have to give him credit for that.
Is he playing more of a point guard? When has he ever really played like a point guard? Like, for real?
I think the thing is, I think the thing is he can't score as well. So his scoring opportunities are being limited. So he's passing the ball more. It's not he's becoming. So
you're blaming. I mean, he's adjusting though.
Yeah, he's making the best of a situation of he isn't as he doesn't have the burst he used to have, so he can't get all the way to the rim. And his in-between game fell off a cliff after like 2016. So now all it is he's passing in situations where he would shoot before, just by the simple fact that he can't score at the same level he used to.
Also, I want to see him match up against a better team than Toronto before, because I don't know what this team looks like. I agree with my man here. Like, I Like when they match up against like an actual team that has the capability of scoring as well, like maybe things would be slightly different. I mean, technically speaking, they're like a buzzer beater away from being like 2-2 right now. So when they face, I think in Miami next round, I think Miami definitely gives them tougher defensive schemes, especially for Embiid to try to find open mans, and they're going to have to rely on other versions of scoring. But yeah, Harden just isn't the same player that he once was, which is fine. I think even from in terms of him sacrificing for the betterment of the team, but also just him as a player as well. I mean, he's 32, 33 years old. He's aging. Like he of course he's not going to look like the same player, so that's fine.
Yeah,
but he does have to figure out different ways to still be impactful as his athleticism declines.
Yes,
and I think he has. I give him credit. It's just that I wonder what it looks like on a more defensive oriented team that has the personnel to potentially match up with them offensively as well.
He's at a fork in the road, and the decision that he has to make is not based on what he can do on the court in terms of his talent. It's because he has Joel Embiid, right? He has to now figure out, Lo, you said it, he's old. And I say this all the time. His patience is probably his biggest weakness, right? He has no patience. He needs a ring, right? There's not much more opportunity. This is probably, his only one that he got left now in order to make anything shake. And he has to decide who he's going to be next to Joel Embiid. And I think if he wants to be James Harden of old, he needs to move on, because Joel Embiid and whatever talents that he brings to the table, that's not gonna work. He's not gonna let that happen, because it is his team, no question about that. And James Harden right now is in a situation that this is strange to him. This is foreign to him. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I think it'll work out. I think this year just isn't the year for them. I think they need to offload that Tobias Harris contract and add a little bit more depth and defense to the roster, because Maxey can't be the only, not Maxey, Thibault can't be the only like on ball and perimeter defender who's giving consistent effort out there. That's kind of troubling, but I don't know. He'll get credit. He'll definitely get credit, and he'll definitely impact his legacy in a positive way because he made adjustments. How much so, I don't know, because I already think fairly highly of James Harden anyway. He's already.
We gotta see it.
Player
We gotta see it.
Yo, Big Roan. I hope that this is the Big Roan that I think it is. Clubhouse Roan.
Oh, yeah.
Big Roan, you here? Damn, he's still muted. We'll bring in Ace. If Big Roan comes back, I want to get him in here. Oh, he just unmuted. Sorry, Ace. Big Roan, what's good, brother? Oh, no. Big Roan, you might have to change your audio settings. Tough. No way this is going to happen again. We were chilling when we first started this segment. Everyone was ready to go. But Ace, are you here? Oh, please don't do this to me. Start unmute and mute your mics if you are here so that I can get people who are ready to go. My God, what is going on? I think Gucci just rejoined. There we go. I know this is going to work. Third time's a charm. Gucci.
Yeah, y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up, brother? What do you got for us?
Hey, man, I just want to say I appreciate all y'all for real, man. Y'all some goats.
Appreciate you. You have a question?
I just want to just see what y'all think about how, like, Cat's been performing. Now he had an incredible game last game and into the first two games in the series.
Right. We didn't talk about Cat at all, man.
No, we didn't.
Everyone
has
bringing it up.
Mars. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Why are you a hater, dog? Why are you that much of a hater?
I know what Mars feel about it because, he talked about it in the court,
Yeah.
I just want to see how y'all feel about it.
He was definitely way more aggressive last game than he normally is, which is like an ongoing problem with his career. And to the point where even Edwards just kind of told him early on, like, bro, you got to be aggressive. Even Jimmy said the same thing. Like, y'all, you got to be aggressive. You can't just stand there and try to look at the defense, like, because they're going to make adjustments for you because you're that great of a player. So he has to be way more aggressive. He has to also understand, like, in terms of, because Adams is not going to basically play in this series. He can be easily the most aggressive big man out there by far and be able to take advantage of that. So he has to acknowledge those things. They can't be out there playing Tillman major minutes and then you just like you're not taking advantage of somebody who's like 6'8" or 6'9". Like you just can't. Like you're gonna have to take advantage of that.
Dub, you want to talk about your boy?
Cat definitely. Who?
Cat.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about him. Actually, my friend told me a story last night. As we was bar hopping and stuff, and he told me a story. He actually worked out with Cat a couple times, and he was telling me how he's a very hard worker and everything like that. And I was like, nah, for real? I was like, I don't like him like that. He was like, nah, he's a hard worker. He's got a good head on him and everything, and I'm really rooting for him. I didn't give a damn, bro. Like Cat, Cat, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like I agree with Lo exactly what he said about that. Like the aggressiveness. I think the aggressiveness is the main thing for me, and like taking advantage of when you have a favorable matchup. Karl-Anthony Towns, what he's doing right now, I mean, it is what it is, bro. I don't care. I still think
I
Memphis
really
is
don't
gonna
either.
Yeah, they're gonna win in 6, bro. That was my prediction. I think they're gonna win back-to-back games, and it is what it is. It's gonna exactly what I told you, bro. Anthony Edwards is doing his thing. Cat having this nice little run, but I'm sorry, when you blow 2 20-point leads in one game, bro.
That's sad. That's
I don't
and
even
plus
know,
him
like,
fouling out too. That's not good.
I don't care about what you just did, bro. I just really don't. Like, that's bad, bro. I have no faith in Memphis. I mean, I have no faith in the Wolves to even come over Memphis, bro, at all. Pause.
Tough.
Yeah, pause.
Gucci, appreciate you tapping in, brother.
All right, beats out, man.
I
Love y'all
gotta
for
go
real.
after one
Yes,
more
sir.
question. Now I gotta go.
All right, let's get J. Lou in here. I'm gonna call you J. Lou. Oh, CPW. All right, CPW. I see you flashing your mic. What's up, CP? CP7. CPW7. You can unmute, bro. I seen you just flashing your mic. Come on. Don't get nervous now. There
Yo,
we go.
you guys can hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up, brother?
Yeah, you guys hear me?
Yes. Do you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. So I got a hypothetical for the panel, 3v3 situation. So like Team USA practice, socials, pressures, things of that nature. Games of 15, 1s and 2s. Who wins and what's the score? Team A, Ja, Devin, and Luka. Team B, Trae, Donovan Mitchell, Jayson Tatum.
B.
Oh my God.
I'm definitely not picking Team B.
Why?
Because they have Trae and Donovan.
Man,
Mars
is nasty, bro.
Mars
You
is
are nasty.
He's a little troll.
Why'd you pick Jokic and then the other team has Tatum? That doesn't make any sense.
Wait,
Why?
he picked Jokic?
No.
Jokic.
No, Ja Morant, Devin Booker, and Luka Doncic. That's team
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Oh, Luka.
Yeah,
That's the team that wins in my eyes.
Damn, that's actually tough.
Nah, it's pretty easy. 50-0.
50-0. Mars.
15-0.
Come on, 50-0.
Yeah, attack Trae.
I don't know. I mean, Luka's good on the court and everything, but he gives me kind of like it's like LeBron vibes. Like, I don't know, like Jayson Tatum match up against Luka on a 1-on-1 set or 3v3 set. I think JT will win that matchup. Dmitch and Devin Booker, shit. I'm not sure. Then Trae Young.
I got D Book on that.
I got Devin Booker.
I don't know, bro. Dmitch is a buck. You're not gonna do my man's like that, bro.
Who
was the 2 point guards? It was Trae and who?
Ja Morant.
And Ja Morant.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
that's just whoever offense, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's literally them going back and forth at each other. Like, God damn,
it's
bro.
tough, bro.
I'm gonna go with the team with Luka. I think it's gonna be close though. I think you gotta win by 2s, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
you gotta win by 2. It's gonna be like 28-26. Like them niggas
I got Team B. I think JT in that type of setting would dominate that. I think it would just dominate that. I got JT.
Yeah, that's tough.
Replace Donovan Mitchell with CJ McCollum. It gets closer.
Jesus Christ, God.
On that note, I gotta go.
All right, Lo, appreciate you tapping in.
Thank y'all for having me on. Thank
yes,
y'all
sir.
for
Thanks for swinging by.
Right,
CP, thank you for tapping in, brother.
Warriors are up 10-6.
All right,
let's
get
that shit's bad, bro. They just spanking that ass.
I mean, the game is only 3 minutes in.
Nah, bro. They watching some of those games, bro. I was just like, yo, this is bad. Like, this shouldn't even be put on national television.
J. Lou, what's up, bro? Can you hear us? Just chilling in the Discord with the background going crazy.
Clay's hit 2 threes in a row.
Fire.
Clay fire, bro. I'm glad he got his legs up under him and everything.
He's got 8 points right now, but Steph's still coming off the bench. I don't know if that's because this series is easy or
For sure.
Why? I mean, why fix?
Yeah, I'm not saying don't change it, but in the next series, do they change it or is it just go until we lose?
Yeah, whatever works. It don't matter. This is
whatever works.
Man, listen, this is one of the most unselfish teams ever.
Yeah, I don't think
Steph is not going to get butthurt over this. Number one. Number two, you're only going to give Jordan Poole more confidence, right? Like,
wait.
What? This is a win-win situation. Not starting. Steph.
Not starting Steph. Yeah, but I'm talking about you saying whatever works. So you talking about when they go into the next game against a new team. Let's say they win this game. You still want Steph coming off the bench?
No, I'm saying it's like if he starts,
it doesn't need to change.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't have to change what I'm saying. They will start Steph. They should start Steph. But if that like messes things up or whatever, it's not some crazy adjustment that needs to be made because they can just say, you know what, man, Poole, let's try you up. Let's see what that does.
There's no rush to bring Steph back in, basically.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
especially because like it's not like they're taking each other's minutes like for real.
Yeah, Steph's still gonna close every game.
You know what I'm saying?
He's just got like right now. He just checked in. Like he just checked in 4 minutes after the game started. It's not like anything's really changed.
Nah, yo, you had me worried there a little bit.
No, you heard what you wanted to hear.
No, I didn't. I was hoping that I didn't hear that, bro, and I didn't.
No,
so
Steph just saw Iggy win Finals MVP off the bench, and Steph needs his Finals MVP.
Mason,
he's trying to come off the bench as well.
Mason, what's good, bro? Mason, I just seen your mic move. Mason, you here?
If Dubs win a title, Jordan Poole gonna get that Finals MVP.
I don't care who gets it as long as we get
I will bet that.
If Jordan Poole gets it, I'll be happy. As long as there's a new champion.
Who's gonna take that bet? I want to make that bet with somebody. JD,
what? What's the bet?
If the Dubs go to the finals and they win, I got Jordan Poole for Finals MVP.
I wouldn't take that because I could see it happening. Juwan, can you hear us?
I don't know.
Bro, what the hell is going on?
I don't know why y'all talking about the Dubs. The Dubs not winning this year, bro.
Yeah, okay, buddy. I'm not gonna lie. I think Steph will probably get Finals MVP off of narrative of the fact he doesn't have one. So I think
so too.
As long as he's not bad, I think.
Who you got coming out the West, Dub?
Right,
now with everybody, being hurt and stuff like that.
I mean, you have to lean on more of the Warriors. I did like the Suns to beat them, but I mean, when is Devin Booker coming back?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter if he comes back.
So I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I guess the Warriors is gonna go to the chip. They're gonna face Miami. And they're gonna lose.
Well,
you got Miami. Okay, interesting.
We're gonna have
Miami's Mars. Let me tell you that I'm talking shit to you. Like, I know you like your siblings and stuff like that. Mars, I'm gonna be like a brother, bro, and I'm gonna be texting you all day. Like, I talk good shit too, bro.
We're gonna have to figure out a better system for Q&A because I keep bringing people in and like their mics either aren't working or whatever. So make sure that before you ever join one of these, you make sure your audio stuff is set up and you're at your shit. If you're not here, then you just gotta get out of the thing because you're just taking away opportunity of someone else who might be in there. Caveman donating through the super chat. Dub, draft a player, Cat or Gobert? And he said, "Get them likes up."
Cat.
Oh, bad take.
Mars, you're Rudy. What you call it? Defense is like you. I don't know what's up with you and Rudy, bro.
We're not gonna debate Rudy Gobert on this show. we need the views. Rudy doesn't bring the views.
Rudy, not whatever's action is action, bro. If you want to talk about Rudy, let's talk about
If
Rudy.
Rudy goes to the Mavericks, I'm burning my Dirk jersey.
Son, I seen Rudy Gobert get a step back three right in his face.
So you think I expect Rudy to just put Luka in prison? That's what you think I expect,
bro. When you sit here and bring up all these numbers about Rudy Gobert, and I think you say he was on.
But I've never claimed that Rudy Gobert.
You said his numbers, right?
I said his
numbers. The field goal percentage and da.
I've never said in life that if there's a perimeter player going off, put Rudy Gobert on him and that solves the problem.
Okay.
What I've said is Rudy Gobert is not a liability on the perimeter, and I stand by that.
He's not
I don't know.
liability.
I don't
He
know,
is.
man. He
I
looked kind
think
of
the-
shaky in the pick and roll.
He is.
I think the
He is.
only bigs I'd say confidently are probably I trust them on the perimeter more than Rudy, Bam Adebayo, Giannis, AD, and then probably Wendell Carter Jr., Jaren Jackson.
All right,
Yeah,
so
because all the guys that you listed aren't slugs.
Yeah,
Rudy
so how am
Gobert is a
I
typical
gonna
slug.
call, I don't think so. How am I gonna call Rudy a liability when he's one of the arguably top 5 perimeter defenders for his position?
see, and this is what I don't like. You sit here, he's arguably top 5 in his position. My bad.
Mhm. No,
I
I'm not
thought
gonna
you
say top
meant the
5 in the
league.
league. Yeah,
I
God
thought you
forbid.
said in the
Oh
league.
my God, that would have been crazy.
Oh yeah, let me put Rudy Gobert instead of Mikal Bridges.
Fuck no,
Well-
yo. That shit would be bad.
I think that's it, fellas. That was a good show. That was fun. But yeah, hopefully we can figure out this Q&A stuff to streamline it better, and because this has honestly become my favorite part of the show. So,
We're not doing no players court or nothing like that.
nah, we only
Man.
got 4 of us right now. Final words.
Warriors
Oh.
in 4.
I forgot to tell Lo something.
You could tell him.
Jay, send me like something that I could tell him. I'm gonna message him real quick.
something that you could.
You know what's crazy, JD?
Yep.
We went through an entire show. How many hours has this been?
Almost 2.5. We're 5 minutes.
2.5
from a
hours, and not once have we asked the audience to like the video.
No, we did. We've been asking.
Nah,
Did
Jay
we-
definitely
We
did.
haven't been.
Can we
doing
get
it.
some likes up, please? We got 230 people in here, 200 likes. That's pretty good, man. I'm not even going
Yeah, it's
to
actually
lie, man. That's a nice little field goal percentage.
not
But
bad.
Can we get some more in there though?
Not bad. But if we could hit 250, that'd be amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh, good
make
defense, Looney.
make sure you like the video before you check out of here. Does anyone else have anything to say? All
No,
right.
I think we've covered
appreciate
it
y'all
all.
for tapping in, man.
Love is love. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, man. We will see you next episode Wednesday. Check out Gridiron on Tuesday. Peace out.